Hi, I'm Matt Smith with Matt Smith Home and Outdoors Realty. From city streets to woodland lakes, I'm here to help you find the place that truly feels like home. When you're buying and selling, you deserve someone who's in your corner, offering clear communication, honest guidance, and a modern, stress-free experience. Whether you're moving up or scaling back or finding your first home, I'm here every step of the way, from city streets to woodland lakes. Find me on Facebook at Matt Smith Home and Outdoors.
Hi, this is Jim Mahoney with Link Technologies. If you are a business or a nonprofit organization wondering how to navigate today's technologies landscape, let Link Technologies' talented staff work with you to develop a technology plan custom to your specific needs. We bring 27 years of experience helping businesses and nonprofit organizations just like yours achieve their technology goals. Contact us today and see how the right balance between cloud and on-premise resources can best work for you.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the MHSAA, are the 292,000 high school sports students in Michigan. And so we stand. We stand for the runners, soccer and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, administrators, and officials. We stand for the swimmers, football players, and wrestlers. We stand for the golfers, softball, and volleyball players. We stand as the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and all who participate in them and make them possible. Because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in Michigan.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that.
Hello. Good morning. Welcome into the show, everybody. Ben Bosscher here with you as always. Kyle Sandel out today. John Vicari filling in behind the glass. We got a lot of fun stuff planned out for you today, including the Bryce Underwood effect, part 2. Part 1 was last offseason, and now we're seeing it reoccur. I'll tell you what the Bryce Underwood effect is coming up in the 10 o'clock hour, but I do want to just kick off the show by talking about one person, the person I think should be the next Lions offensive coordinator, and that would be none other than, Mike McCarthy. We posted a reel of this from Monday's show, me saying I kind of want Mike McCarthy to be the offensive coordinator for the Lions. And John, I'm not going to lie, the people bullied me a little bit. I don't think too many people were fond of the idea of bringing in someone who was formerly the head coach of the Cowboys, formerly the head coach of the Packers, two of the Lions' biggest rivals over the past 15 years. I think people just have such a negative connotation towards the guy and so much disdain for him because of the teams and the logos that he represented that people are just so out on this idea before even hearing the logic behind it. I think the logic and the reasoning behind it is good. I like this fit for the Lions, and I'm not going to just give this up just because I got a little bit bullied online. You got to have thick skin to do this job. I love it. But man, sometimes people have the reaction online. Makes you a little afraid, you know?
It shouldn't. It shouldn't. Listen, I love
Not afraid. Afraid's the wrong word, but you know what I mean.
No, I get you. I like Mike McCarthy as much as the next guy on the Pat McAfee show. You know, that's where he is, and I think he's got a weekly there. You know, I'm a Giants fan. You guys know this. I didn't like – well, I can't say I didn't like the guy. He'd always beat the Giants, but he wouldn't have success beyond that. But this is a Super Bowl winning coach, a guy who still has, I think, his brain completely locked in. I think he's on the ball. And just give me another candidate then, because all the people that are pushing back on social media and you know, the reel on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm sure today in our YouTube comments, all the other ones were, oh, John Gruden. Yeah, okay. Oh,
if I have to hear about John Gruden being the coach, I heard this again with the Michigan coaching cycle too. Why not John Gruden? I don't know. Maybe because he's, first of all, really old, and asking him to do anything beyond just play calling, I think it's a little crazy.
Yeah. Here's another one for the Facebook comments. John Harbaugh. Yeah, okay.
Oh, great idea.
He's gonna go from the Ravens head coach to the Lions OC. Sure.
Also, John Harbaugh doesn't call plays.
Yeah.
Never has.
But those are the most liked Facebook comments of at least when you talked about, oh, who should be the next Lions OC. So, yeah.
John Harbaugh's going to be coaching your team in a matter of a couple days.
I hope. That'd be sweet. But, yeah.
Kyle kind of nailed this one, by the way. On Monday, before John Harbaugh was even fired, we said, well, they need some time to process this because the game was Sunday night. If we wake up Wednesday morning and he's still the coach, he's going to still be the coach. It has to happen by Tuesday night.
Wow.
And if it does happen, he's going to be the Giants head coach. It's the perfect fit. Bullseye, bullseye, bullseye. All those things have come to fruition, and he's not here to flex on everybody.
Man, so I got to make a prediction during this show about something because I got to one-up my guy.
Something.
On something. I want to say he will be the Giants head coach, but that's just me being optimistic.
Well, the other thing is the Giants actually are interviewing Mike McCarthy to be the head coach. I doubt he gets that job. I have a hard time thinking any of the there's a lot of head coaching openings now. There's 7, and I don't know if there's 7 awesome candidates to be the head coach. That would be the reason I'm a little bit concerned about someone taking in Mike McCarthy to be the head coach, but it does kind of feel like that is in the past a little bit. It does feel like his head coaching days are a little bit behind him. Am I going to be totally shocked if someone brings him in as a head coach? I guess not, because like I said, there's 7 head coach openings, and your team, the Giants, has already announced that they're going to give him a head coaching interview at least.
Yeah.
But if every team is like, you know what, that's in the past, why would someone like the Lions not go bring him in for an interview? Again, I get it. He represented some logos that you're rivals with. It's a turnoff right away. There's not a person in this cycle that has called more plays in the NFL than Mike McCarthy. And I don't think the Lions can afford to roll the dice or take a risk by bringing in someone who may or maybe not be good. You know, they have a report yesterday that David Blau is going to interview for the offensive coordinator job. Cute story, fun story, sounds like he's a great offensive mind, quarterbacks coach, whatever. There's no way they can bring in a guy who's never called plays before to be the Lions offensive coordinator when they are, like, for the lack of a better term, they're in a window. Like, they can't afford to have another swing and miss at this hire. Go hire someone who you know is going to be awesome. Mike McCarthy has a long track record of having an awesome offense. 4 times he's had the number 1 scoring offense in the NFL. Twice with Green Bay, twice with Dallas. 9 times he's been a top 5 offense in the NFL. And 11 times he's been a top 10. He's coached 18 total seasons. Half of them he's been a top 5 offense in the NFL. I don't understand why people are upset with me throwing out Mike McCarthy as a head coaching candidate. Is it simply because of the teams he was a part of, the last 2 teams he was a part of? Is that it?
Well, do we think it's unrealistic?
Why would it be?
That's my thing. And to start, what gives you an advantage if you're the Lions and your head coach is Dan Campbell is the fact that that, machismo, that macho-ness that he has, he's not going to be afraid to hire an OC with head coaching experience just because he's unsure of his job. Not that there's no job insecurity 100%, but I feel a guy like Dan Campbell, bring in who is going to be best for the job. I'm not worried about McCarthy in a couple of years undertaking my job, where I feel like other head coaches in other spots may be a little weary just because, McCarthy's got a Super Bowl as a head coach.
How often does that actually happen, though, that the offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator just gets promoted to head coach because the coach gets fired? I feel like that doesn't happen as much as you'd think.
I mean, not that the Giants are sticking with it, but they put, you mean an interim basis or a full-time basis?
A full-time basis. I feel like that doesn't happen. And
I guess.
I would spin that
Denver,
opposite
Van
on you.
Joseph, but yeah.
I would spin that opposite on you, that if they hire Mike McCarthy, there's no risk of him being poached by anybody else to become a head coach again. Whereas if you hire this bright, young offensive coordinator...
I would disagree with that.
Okay, why? Because in my mind, if you hire this bright, young offense coordinator and the Lions offense is awesome once again, you're 2 years away from it being poached. And Campbell talked about that in his postseason press conference. Like, if I keep calling plays, guess what? We're probably not going to lose another offensive coordinator like we did with Ben Johnson. And I don't think Dan Campbell should be calling plays, nor will he be, but that's something you have to consider. And I think if you hire Mike McCarthy, I don't know who's bringing him in to be a head coach again.
Well, he's already getting in. The only reason I push back on that is he's already getting interviews to be a head coach.
Interview.
Interview.
Yeah.
The Giants are the only team to interview him?
As far as I've seen, yes.
Okay. Well, I would say, and we'll get into this later, of which head coaching jobs are the most coveted. I don't think that's the bottom of the barrel job opening that's available of the ones that are at this current moment. Maybe the Ravens have a little more cachet. We'll get into that. But he's already got an offer, and he's a guy that I think has been sitting around waiting for a head coaching offer more so than an OC. So just because he's older, I don't think that, if he does take the Lions job, has a great season, I think he's definitely going to be out the door for whatever head coaching carousel opens up next year, just because he has that Super Bowl winning pedigree. He's already proven it. I understand, the younger guys wanted to give him a shot. McCarthy slides his resume across the desk to any NFL general manager, any owner, any front office. I've won a ring. I've been a coach in big markets. And in this current day, what have you done for me lately? I took an offense that was supposed to be big time, wasn't a year ago, and was big time if obviously he had success, and in the modern day NFL, even with a gap in my resume where I wasn't a head coach. So he's the strongest candidate, and he gets any job he wants, and he would leave immediately. And he knows there's no rising to the Lions head coach because that's Campbell. No matter this is the problem. No matter who you hire, they might be poached for a head coaching position. It's the modern landscape of the NFL. If you're that darn good, you're gonna be poached. You hope you're Kelvin Shepard good. Kelvin Shepard was good enough where you give him another year, but not great enough because they're not a playoff team. They had all these injuries, but you feel confident Kelvin Shepard manning this defense. If the Lions had a year like they did last year, Kelvin Shepard would be swirling rumor-wise for head coaching positions, just like Aaron Glenn was.
Yeah, I think Shep's got to do it for a couple more years, and obviously the way that the season ended with the defense, whether it was injuries or not, you're going to have to stack years on top of each other to become a head coach, I think. I do think Shepard at some point that could be in his career. He's still a young guy, but I don't know. I think there's some teams that would just kind of be put off of the idea of, but the last two teams McCarthy's part of, they couldn't get over the hump towards the end, so they kind of decided to move off of him. There was maybe some leadership question marks as well, but that's why I think it'd be a perfect fit for the Lions, because just call the plays. Like, that's all you have to do. And I look at the quarterbacks that he coached and the quarterbacks that he put into MVP candidacy year in and year out. Guess what they were? Stationary quarterbacks. It was a timing-based offense, not some backyard football, run this way, run that way, RPO, rollout. I see a lot of people suggesting Cliff Kingsbury because him and the Commanders have just parted ways. Do you want to know the quarterbacks that Cliff Kingsbury has coached in his career going all the way back to Texas A&M? Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield, Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Caleb Williams, and Jaden Daniels. That is a hell of a list.
Yeah.
But guess what all those guys have in common? It's all backyard football. It's all an offense that's structured around those guys' mobility. It's an air raid attack. I don't know if I would want to combine that with what the Lions have that's, again, a timing-based offense, what theoretically should be a run-based offense, like a power run, rather than some RPO, air it out type of thing. That's what Cliff Kingsbury would provide. Mike McCarthy, he's dealt with Dak Prescott, not necessarily mobile. He's dealt with Aaron Rodgers, not necessarily mobile. It's a timing-based offense, and I think that is the perfect style to come in for the Detroit Lions. It's already a similar style. I love this fit, and I couldn't believe the pushback I got online when we pushed that reel out. Again, I don't necessarily care what the people say online. I was just surprised by how many people were weren't even willing to hear the argument. Mike McCarthy's an absolute hell no. I haven't seen this from anywhere else. I have not seen one other person suggest this, and I can't figure out why. Because in my eyes, it's a perfect fit. It's the most experienced play caller. You can't afford to miss on on an offensive coordinator for the second consecutive offseason. Bring in the guy who you know is a guarantee hit. Bring in the guy who's had 4 different number 1 offenses in the NFL, 9 different top 5s. Who do you want to be the Lions offensive coordinator? 989-837-6125. It's suddenly become, in my eyes, maybe the second most important, maybe even the most important decision that the Lions have to make this offseason. Obviously, what they do with that first-round pick, 17th, you can throw that in first-place contention too. But if that's first, I think whoever they hire at offensive coordinator is maybe the second biggest decision that they have to make this offseason. They cannot afford to miss again, which is why I think Mike McCarthy is the perfect candidate. Who do you want to be the OC? 989-837-6125, 9 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by our friends over at Iron Stack. You know that we like to talk about game plans and execution on this show. I think Mike McCarthy would be able to provide a hell of a game plan for the Detroit Lions. That's exactly how Iron Stack approaches IT. They help businesses stay secure, efficient, and ready for what's next so you can focus on the mission ahead instead of your technology. Iron Stack Technologies, solution-driven, mission-focused. You can check them out at ironstacktechnology.com.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Every successful team starts with a solid game plan, and your business technology should be no different. Iron Stack Technology helps organizations design, protect, and manage IT systems that perform when it matters most. With a focus on security, reliability, and execution, Iron Stack keeps your businesses ready for the next play. Iron Stack Technology, solution-driven, mission-focused. Learn more at ironstacktechnology.com.
Jack Frost is nipping at your nose, but don't let him touch your thermostat. This winter, keep your home warm and worry-free with Answer Heating and Cooling. From furnace tune-ups to emergency repairs, our friendly professional techs make sure your heating system runs smoothly all season long. Customers rave about our courteous service and how we leave everything clean and working perfectly. Call Answer Heating and Cooling or visit AnswerSOS.com today. Answer Heating and Cooling. Don't be left in the cold. Let us keep you warm.
Hi, this is Jim Mahoney with Link Technologies. As a business owner, you might be struggling with today's technological advancements in the IT arena and how they could benefit your growing business. Let Link Technologies' talented staff work with you to develop a technology plan custom to your specific needs. We bring 27 years of experience helping businesses and nonprofit organizations just like yours achieve their technology goals. Contact us today and see how the right balance between cloud and on-premise resources can best work for you.
Hi, I'm Matt Smith with Matt Smith Home and Outdoors Realty. From city streets to woodland lakes, I'm here to help you find the place that truly feels like home. When you're buying and selling, you deserve someone who's in your corner, offering clear communication, honest guidance, and a modern, stress-free experience. Whether you're moving up or scaling back or finding your first home, I'm here every step of the way, from city streets to woodland lakes. Find me on Facebook at Matt Smith Home and Outdoors.
He got him! That's 3 of them! The Great Lakes Bay region's home for Spartans basketball.
MSU's got the second of a 3-game home stretch. On Thursday, it's the Northwestern Wildcats trekking to the Breslin Center. Coverage starts at 6:30, presented by Weiss Equipment.
Every MSU game all season long.
It's so fun to hear people chanting.
Right here on Sports Radio 100.9.
The Mitt.
The Mitt.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Who should be the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions? They cannot afford to miss this. Let's see what the people have to say. 989-837-6125. I'm going to present to you 4 options. You can give me an other. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give you 5 because I'm feeling generous today. 5 options. You can present to me somebody else as well. I'll give you Mike McCarthy. That is my choice. Cliff Kingsbury, who the Commanders just parted ways with yesterday. Brian Daboll, John's former head coach for his team.
Yeah, great guy.
David Blau, who is the only person that we know for sure the Lions are entertaining as the next offensive coordinator. I think it's just to do him a favor, give him an interview.
Wow.
I'd be shocked if this was actually the offensive coordinator. And I'll throw out Todd Monken, too, who's the offensive coordinator technically right now for the Ravens. I have a hard time envisioning him still being there with John Harbaugh's departure yesterday evening. Let's see what the people have to say. 989-837-6125. Keith says Daboll is tight with Dan Campbell. They coached together in Miami and New Orleans. He orchestrated Josh Allen's career early in Buffalo. Same teachings with Jackson Dart, but couldn't manage the entire Giants team. That would be my choice. Yet my only pushback with Brian Daboll is, first, I think he's a little bit of a loose cannon, and I know you can speak to this a little bit better, John, with you being a Giants fan and watching him every single week. But I also would be just concerned about him running Josh Allen and Jackson Dart into the ground. It feels like those two guys specifically, the offense was built around their legs, and obviously that's not a tool he would have with Jared Goff.
That's fair. He also tried to make Daniel Jones Josh Allen, couldn't, and Daniel Jones has had more success, of course got injured in Indianapolis, being in a more pocket style. Not that Jones couldn't run in Indianapolis, but it was a run-first style where he had success. I wanted Jones, obviously, to be the answer in New York. He wasn't. I don't fault Daboll entirely. Jones had a lot of different OCs and whatever. And I liked what he did with Dart. It just was a management thing. You say loose cannon. I think he's a bit of a schlub, especially with the Hard Knocks stuff. Putting his feet on the desk when he was interviewing Jane Daniels like he's this made guy. You haven't won anything. You were the OC in Buffalo with a otherworldly quarterback, and you have this job now. You couldn't figure it out with Jones, and you need a new one. And didn't land the right quarterback then, and then had to draft Dart the next year.
I'll just never get over him running into the tent when Jackson Dart went down on that, what was that, a Sunday night game? Or
that was Thursday
night
night
game?
Against the Eagles, yeah.
He just runs right into the tent. Like, I've just never seen a head coach do that.
No.
It's like, you got a football game to coach, man.
Yeah.
He trust the trainers.
He just wasn't head coach material. Do I still think he's a capable play caller? Sure. But of those candidates, you want someone who doesn't need the legs of, like your point, Allen, Jones, and Dart. Like, for Dart to be successful this year, the threat of the run had to be there because they had no weapons elsewhere. Yeah. And their weapons got hurt, Neighbors and Scadaboo, but
and then he was concussed, 4 times by week 14?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. He didn't know how to slide. And they kept preaching it, and he still wouldn't do it.
Let's see what some other people say. Michael says, anyone but David Blau. I don't want a project. Yeah, it feels like this guy's just getting a lot of smoke blown right now. I'm not trying to dismiss. Like, I'm sure he's a good quarterback's coach. Dan Campbell had a lot of good things to say about him when he was the backup for Jared Goff. But, I just don't think the Lions can afford to take a swing and a miss. And this would obviously be a swing that, you're swinging at a curveball here. There's no guarantee that David Blau is anything. And for him to go from quarterback 3-4 seasons ago and then offensive coordinator that quickly, I feel like that would be a little bit rushed of a process. He's never even called plays. Why would we bring him in to call plays for a team looking to win a Super Bowl? Feels a little premature.
Yeah, this past, filling of the OC in DC, you went with in-house guys. One worked, one didn't. It's hard to bring in a guy who once was in-house. That the assistant coaching job, too, the Commanders, that's the only coaching job on his resume. Unless you saw something that I didn't, that's the only one. So, hey, could he be a capable OC one day? Absolutely. But to be an OC of a win-now window is very tight right now. Lions team, just because he played 5 games consecutively in 2019, no, I would go with the more experienced candidates in that. But not saying he can't be. Not saying I wouldn't even bring him in as an offensive assistant if you want to make some other shakeups in terms of the coaching staff. Yeah, but to be the OC, I'm not for that.
Billy says, go get Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, sure.
I think the resume, like, it's good. The quarterback list is good. It's just the styles, I think, clash so drastically. If he were to come and coach a Jared Goff-led offense, that is unlike anything he's ever done before. So I just think there's like a stylistic difference between what the Lions have in terms of their personnel versus what kind of offense Cliff Kingsbury has ran and has always run for the past 10 years. I just don't know if those things,
mesh.
It feels, I don't know if they mesh. It feels like they clash more than they mesh.
Yeah,
it's a name more than it is a fit.
It would just be an adjustment, and this is what you're with now. I don't want to say 100 that you can't bring in an OC who's coming from a more mobile quarterback, but you have to have, at least in my opinion, experience where a non-mobile quarterback has had success, and that's why McCarthy jumps off the page, because he's been able to do it with not that Rodgers couldn't move, not that Prescott couldn't move, but they weren't run first. They were run if everything falls apart.
Those guys are both obviously more mobile than Goff.
Of course.
Almost everybody's more mobile than Goff.
Yes, but it's not again,
it's a timing-based offense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I get you. And that's why right now I would put him as the perfect fit.
I'm glad somebody agrees with me. I haven't seen one other Lions or Detroit sports pundit even mention Mike McCarthy. I don't understand why this guy's not getting brought up. I think it's perfect.
This may be going against you a bit, because I saw when you posted after the last Lions game, like, you going to defend Jared Goff the whole offseason. And
that's my guy. I'm a Goff guy now.
I know you are. This is the issue with having a quarterback that's not mobile. Your head or your offensive coordinating options are going to be more limited than a guy who has a mobile quarterback, because everyone else has a mobile quarterback. So it's hard to be like, okay, this OC, they're all coming from a team that has a more mobile quarterback than Jared Goff. Not better, but more mobile quarterback than Jared Goff, and are going to have to make that adjustment in terms of scheme when they come, in the door in Detroit.
It's a dying breed, isn't it?
It is.
I fear when
that's
Jared Goff is out
him.
of the league, that's kind of just it for the stationary quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm. That's why Brady loves him. He'll talk about him on the broadcast, because once Goff's gone, he's going to talk about all these QBs, and none of them are the style that he played.
Because you've got Stafford and you've got guys like Flacco who can still fill in, but like in terms of the age and who's going to last, Goff is by far the last. I guess like Geno's like that too, but again, he's kind of on the end of his career. That's it. No quarterback comes into the NFL now that's not able to move. Even a Mendoza, who's probably going to be the first overall pick, like, he can use his legs. There's no such thing as guys that aren't really threats with their legs anymore. I think Mahomes changed all that for everybody.
Yeah. It's just what it has to be, and it's the varying extents, but you can't be a statue back there. Or you better have an elite offensive line.
I think the other one that's worth a mention here is Todd Monken, because that's a guy who's got a pretty good resume to 2 national championships as the offensive coordinator at Georgia from 2020 to 2022, then came and coached the Baltimore Ravens since then. My only question is, why did the Ravens finish 27th in red zone percentage this year?
Lamar was hurt.
Yeah, but even in the last 3 weeks, they were like outside of the top 10 in red zone percentage. I guess that part really confused me, especially after they were first last season. And I'd always just be a little bit weary of a coach who their head coach got fired. Their head coach tried to defend them. And from my understanding on what happened, Harbaugh ownership met for a really long time yesterday, and Harbaugh was pretty adamant, I don't want to get rid of Todd Monken. Okay, that sounds like a good... Then why did ownership want him gone so bad? Why was there some sort of unhappiness or discontent with Lamar Jackson the entire season? That's the part that made a little bit... Like, I don't know, I'd want to know what happened there. I'd want to do my homework with Todd Monken and figure out what happened and what went wrong with this year's Ravens season. Because even when Lamar came back, it never really felt like they were the same offense.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the only thing I push back on the Todd Monken thing. But everyone seems to think really highly of Monken. That would be another one of those situations where it'd be a drastic personnel change, though, because coaching Lamar Jackson in that offense, I mean, that's about as unique as it gets, right?
Yeah.
It's the polar opposite of what he'd be doing with the Lions. Not to say he can't do it, but again, I just think Mike McCarthy is the perfect fit.
Yeah, I mean, what entices these OCs is the weapon. Like, is it fair to say Goff's at the bottom of that list? Like, it's working with two premier rushers and maybe the best running back in the NFL. Depends who you ask. I think he's top 5, right?
I think for an old school coach like McCarthy, it's like something to kind of be excited about.
Goff.
Oh, I don't have to worry about this quarterback making bad decisions or ruining my offense. Like, if I design the offense, Goff can execute it, you know?
I guess.
If you're Cliff Kingsbury, I think you're right. Like, I'm not coaching a Jared Goff offense. If I'm Mike McCarthy, it's like, hell yeah, this guy's going to do exactly what I tell him.
Yeah, it's more, okay, I have the veteran stability, but I like the toys I get to play with more. That's how I would
for
feel.
Sure.
St. Brown, Laporte,
that's
of
every
course, all
Goff
healthy.
offense, though.
Yes, but I think that's luring them in more than Goff, and I think that's at least what makes it enticing too. Because Goff without these weapons, it wouldn't be.
Sorry, one more thing.
No, yeah, you're good.
Is there any other candidates that we're missing? I'm sure more will arise, but those are kind of the big name ones, right? The only other person I've heard thrown out is Mike Kafka, your interim head coach for the Giants, but I don't know. That seems another one of those guys that's a little underqualified.
The thing with Kafka, you're gonna love a guy who throws the ball. Like when he became the head coach and Dart was hurt, it was like, all right, this is gonna be fun with Winston, and it was against the Lions, obviously, because Kafka, he went to Northwestern. He's famous for throwing like 60 passes in a bowl game in Northwestern. He's a big, throw the ball, and it's like, all right, Winston, we're a bad team, like the leash is going to be cut off, and you kind of saw that with the trick plays and everything. Still in a losing effort because the Giants suck, but
this game, Jameis Winston looked like Warren Moon.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. That I don't know if that's a fit or and just where he. Like, I wasn't impressed with his offense, him and Dable's combination in New York, where I would be telling people, yeah, hire him over McCarthy. Yeah, hire him over Monken. Hire him over even Kingsbury, to be honest with you. I can't advertise that.
989-837-6125. Who do you want to be the Lions' next offensive coordinator? We'll get to some more Mitt messages in a little bit. We'll hit the news when we come back. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live on 100.9 The Mitt. Protect your home with Bresky Siding and Building Repair, the experts who do the job right the first time and represent this show. Leaky roof, storm damage, siding looking a little tired. Bresky's got you covered, locally owned, trusted, and dedicated to keeping Midland area homes safe and looking sharp. Quality materials, skilled craftsmanship, and service that puts your family first. Don't wait for the next storm. Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair today and keep your home strong for years to come.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Leaky gutters?
No problem.
Shabby shingles?
We got this.
Remodeling?
Yup, that too.
Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair, your roof, gutter, and remodeling experts.
Any job, anywhere. Bresky can do it all.
Call me, Derek Bresky, at Bresky Siding and Building Repair today for all your roofing and gutter needs.
Call my dad, 989-529-8167.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Sharon Mortensen, President and CEO of the Midland Area Community Foundation.
It's a group of people that come together to learn about and to provide input on things happening in our community. So our next upcoming time that we're together, we're talking about law enforcement. We're going to have our prosecutor and our sheriff and our police chief talking about what they're doing and then getting input from the group. So that's a wonderful way for people to come and learn and share their ideas. We've also partnered with the Midland Business Alliance on the MyPros Community Crowd Fund, which started, goodness now, I think it's been probably 4 years.
Listen to the full episode on YouTube at 100.9 The Mitt. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
This winter, the hottest action in Midland isn't on a screen. It's on the court at the Dow Tennis Classic, February 15th through the 22nd. The lights, the speed, the perfect hush just before a match-winning shot. It's all back, and it's more electrifying than ever. Come watch world-class athletes battle for every point, every set, every moment, right here in your own backyard. It's fast, it's fierce, and it is unforgettable. Tickets are on sale now. Visit DowTennisClassic.com. Be there February 15th to the 22nd for the Dow Tennis Classic. Tired of floors that snore? Walls that whisper, meh? Premier Tile in Midland is here to spice things up one tile at a time. They've got backsplash that'll make your pasta jealous. What? Shower walls that'll actually sing in the morning. And floors so fabulous, you'll consider eating dinner off them. Stylish, affordable, slightly obsessed with grout. Visit Premier Tile, located between Stark and Sturgeon, right off US 10, or at PremierTileStone.com.
From making athletic footwear stronger and lighter to powering the future of electric racing vehicles, material science and R&D are the MVPs of innovation. At Dow, we collaborate with customers and partners to tackle a wide range of sports product challenges with cutting-edge advancements in technology. Dow's innovations can help to improve performance and sustainability throughout the world of sports. Dow, at the intersection of sports and science.
Transform your outdoor space with Maple Hill Nursery. Whether you're a gardening enthusiast or just looking to relax in style, they have everything you need. From premium polywood furniture that never needs painting to top quality plants and trees, Maple Hill Nursery has it all. Plus, they offer free setup and delivery on in-stock barbecue grills. Visit them today just north of Midland Mall or check out their website for pro tips and expert advice. Maple Hill Nursery, making your yard the place to be.
You want sports takes? You want local voices that own the mic? Yeah. We've got them on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. It kicks off at 6 a.m. with Anthony Bellino on Spin on Sports.
Rise and shine.
From 9 to noon, don't miss Michigan's newest sports show, The Ben Bosscher Show.
Hey, remember that.
At noon, you get America's smartest sports takes, The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
I want Shador to play.
And at 3, the one and only Bill Simonson and The Huge Show. This is where real fans stay locked in. 100.9 The Mitt. We're in your town, your school, your huddle. 100.9 The Mitt is here for sports fans in the Great Lakes Bay region. From the hardwoods of Saginaw to Midland's Friday Night Lights. From the streets of Bay City to Freeland, Frankenmuth, and Hemlock. We roll through Beaverton, Auburn, Pinconning, Essexville, and Shepherd. All the way to Gladwin, Birch Run, Coleman, and Bridgeport. This is your sports station. High school, college, NFL, the Looms. It's all right here. 100.9 The Mitt. Mid-Michigan sports leader.
The love of the game draws us to sports, as players, coaches, spectators, and officials. For officials, it's a way to stay in the game they once played, to feel the thrill of putting on the uniform, stepping out of the playing surface, hustling to make the call, and building the relationships which can only be built in sports. If you still have that love for the game, we always need new officials. Register now at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome back into the show, everybody. It is 9:30. We got to keep you plugged in. What's going on? We'll get back to the Lions offensive coordinator job search. We'll get to Michigan Wolverines and the Bryce Underwood effect. It's happening yet again. But first, let's hit the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
Oh, my favorite segment because I get to talk a lot. It's the Mitt Morning Catch. What's up, Ben? Good morning, dude.
Good morning.
Good morning, Great Lakes Bay region. All right, let's get into it. You said we'll keep talking about the Lions OC. Let's just keep talking about it.
Johnny V, you want to turn that music down just a tad?
Too loud for you?
I just want to be able to hear your beautiful voice.
All right. That better?
That's perfect.
I thought it was perfect. I don't know. This headset, it's just not my friend. Anyway, we've been talking about, and the YouTube comments have been talking about, good old David Blau. Ian Rappaport of NFL Network said yesterday that the Lions have looked into him, the former Lions quarterback. He had a couple stops in the league, didn't play much, 5 games consecutively in Detroit in 2019 when the Lions had no better option to finish that season. Purdue grad, he most recently, his only coaching job, assistant coaching job with the Commanders. You touched on something in the previous segment. Do you think this is the Lions doing a good favor getting him an interview above anything else?
A good favor, also just like it's someone they're familiar with. Obviously, last year they fell victim to hiring guys that they were familiar with. I would like to hope that they've learned from their mistakes and understand the circumstance that they're in, that they can't afford to miss this hire. That is a huge swing in, like a huge risk if you're David Blau. Again, you said this too. I'm not saying David Blau can never be a good coach, never be a good offensive coordinator. Who knows what his coaching career is going to look like. But I just think that's, hey, we liked him when he was here. He knew Jared Goff. He knew this offense very well. He was basically a coach on the field when he was the backup. There's some good things being said about him in Washington. He got blocked last offseason from interviewing elsewhere for a couple different passing game coordinator jobs. Let's go see what he's all about.
Okay.
I hope this is smoke.
Yeah, and it's the first one, but the only official one, or at least reported one by an NFL insider, Ian Rappaport, with that. The only thing I remember about this guy, by the way, not him on the field, I listened to, a New York show growing up, and one of the hosts on the show, they were doing their spread picks, and he's like, is anyone familiar with the work of David Blow? And the whole show just cracked up because they didn't know the guy, and obviously that's not how you pronounce his name. But yeah, good old Blau. We'll see with him, but definitely drop in the comments who you think should be the new Lions OC with Morton out the door. That officially happened yesterday with him getting canned.
David Blau, once upon a time, quarterbacked the Lions team on Thanksgiving.
Wow.
You know that? There was some dark days in this franchise's history. Wow. Basically, the last 3 years of the Giants.
The last 3 years? Last decade, buddy boy.
Okay.
Terrible.
Last decade, I'm sorry.
They've been, no, I mean,
I didn't
for
mean
the last
to undersell
3 years,
how bad the Giants have been.
One playoff appearance, Anyway, other Lions news, they ink Seth McLaughlin to a futures contract. Explain this to the people, Ben, and when I mean the people, I mean me. A futures contract is what? The practice squad?
So a futures contract for guys whose contract has ended and you have less than 3 years of experience, which essentially means you were a practice squatter, you got to the end, you can give a guy a futures contract. And I believe if they're under 3 years, they can't negotiate with anybody else. You give them the contract and it's either you accept this or you're not playing football this year. So the interesting thing about this player that you said his name, right?
Yeah, center Seth McLaughlin.
Remember the Alabama center in the Rose Bowl against Michigan that could not snap the ball to Jalen Milroe? That's this guy. But the thing is, before that game, he was excellent. After that game, he transferred to Ohio State and won the award for best center in all of college football at Ohio State. Ruptured his Achilles, ends up getting undrafted because of that, and then spent all of this season on the Bengals practice squad. Lions pick him up. I'm not telling you that this is the center of the future, but I just thought this was funny because it's Lions fans will remember who this is because he was one of the biggest reasons that Michigan won the Rose Bowl and then obviously went on to win a national championship.
Yeah, he won the Remington Trophy, which is best center. And that's why, too,
And did it in only 10 games.
Yeah, you'll talk about the transfer portal, how it's ruining college football. This guy was an elite center, but probably couldn't snap a ball at Alabama again, or he would have received, violent threats on his life because of how bad he played in that game.
It's like the threats I got for suggesting Mike McCarthy should be the OC. It's like the same thing.
Correct. So he goes to Ohio State and then wins the best center in college football award. That's something else. I don't know if he departed Bama or they didn't. I imagine Saban was like, yeah, get the heck out of here. Or was it DeBoer at that time? It was Saban, right?
No, that was the very last year of Nick Saban.
Okay. So maybe that
they
new head
retired
coach
Nick
too.
Saban, remember?
Yes. So maybe new head coach too. But there you go, McLaughlin to a futures contract. College football playoff semifinals, they're coming up tomorrow and on Friday, but not going to talk on that. Let's talk about the teams that aren't in the football playoff. That's your Michigan schools, of course. For U of M, Andrew Marsh, the receiver, he's coming back for another year, catching passes from Bryce Underwood. He's staying for his sophomore season. Ben, how big is this Marsh, who really didn't get going till October, but was dynamic when he played?
Still finished with the most receiving yards, most receptions, most receiving touchdowns on the team this year. This would have been a big-time loss for the Wolverines if he were to have stayed in the portal and went elsewhere, because this was their top weapon by the end of the season, and that includes the rushing game as well with Justice Haynes out for the season. So he really came along. He actually made ESPN's top 25 freshman of the season.
Wow.
You could not afford to lose this guy. Now Bryce Underwood has his number 1 target back. And I think a lot of that has to do with Bryce Underwood returning himself.
I'd imagine. I mean, mix of him and Whittingham. I'd imagine for good old Andrew Marsh back for a sophomore year. For Michigan State, a guy who we knew was going to depart, Aiden Childs, officially inks with Northwestern.
And you see who their OC is now?
No.
Chip Kelly.
Really?
Aiden Childs and Chip Kelly about to be tearing it up in the Big Ten.
Man, I'm feeling 8-4 in Northwestern. I don't know about
That's
you.
generous.
Yeah, I think it is.
7-5 would be incredible.
I'm feeling that.
I'm shocked that guy's not in the Big 12. But I guess once they hire Chip Kelly, it's definitely intriguing if you're a quarterback.
Wow. So yeah, Aiden Childs to Northwestern there. Didn't touch on this, but college basketball last night, Michigan played Penn State, and you and Kyle talked about it on the show yesterday about Michigan and having this amazing year. If the target wasn't on their back to begin the season, how they've played through the first 13 games, it's even more defined. And they got Penn State's best shot yesterday. A good game, each team at 8 threes. Michigan was outscored in the second half, but they led 80% of the game. Defensive stop late. Remain unbeaten, maybe closer than the experts thought. It was a 20.5-point spread. But road wins in the Big Ten, they're not the easiest thing to do. And Michigan remains undefeated.
Yeah, they mentioned this on the broadcast last night that expect every team in the Big Ten to be watching the film of this game, trying to figure out what it was that Penn State did to kind of slow down the Michigan offense. They threw a lot of zone at them, which is naturally just going to slow things down. They pretty much started pressing them at half court. I think that kind of threw Elliot Cadeau off a couple times. He panicked and had 3 turnovers yesterday. I don't think it's reason to worry if you're a Michigan fan quite yet, but yeah, you can't win every game by double digits. So this was the first time since November 14th that Michigan has won a game by single digits.
Wow.
Think about that.
Yeah.
It has been nearly 2 months of winning, and not one of those wins has come in a single-digit win until yesterday.
There you go. And
All
again,
streaks must die.
All streaks must die, but the undefeated streak still remains. Final thing for the Mitt Morning Catch, at least part 1 of 2 on the show today. For the second time, the Athletics, Major League Baseball franchise, if you didn't know.
The homeless A's?
The homeless A's, but they're trying to find a home, but the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, it's making it kind of tough. They've denied the Las Vegas Athletics and Vegas Athletics for the trademark. You are shocked. USPTO argues athletics, it's an overarching term, too broad to be trademarked. Now, a couple years ago, maybe last year, there was someone who tried to trademark this just to step in the way of John Fisher. You'd imagine someone from Oakland. Good. This is my thing. Good. If they want to move the team, find a new name. You don't have to carry the Athletics legacy. You're a new team in Vegas with no ties to the original org in terms of it being in Oakland. Move on. I'd suggest Aces, Golden. Oh wait, those are taken.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't use those.
So maybe just
Kings. That's not a baseball one yet.
There you go, Kings. You know, there's the Los Angeles Kings, but there's not the Las Vegas Kings.
I think I'm just gonna forever call them the homeless A's. I think that's better.
You can until at least 2028,
which is crazy. I can't imagine. This is still gonna go down as one of the biggest botches by an owner in sports history of moving your team out of a city without anywhere to go, and then basically just that being delayed for years on years on years. What? So their plans just to be in Sacramento again?
Yes. So
but they're not the Sacramento A's. They're just the A's, the homeless A's. That's good.
Yeah.
So that's official. They will not be called the A's once they go to Vegas, or that's just who knows?
It's the second time they've been denied. I'd imagine they're going to try and coerce their way into doing it. Who knows who will have to step in? But
are they going to have any fans? I know the Golden Knights have gone over very well. Everyone likes that team. I think the Raiders have a good amount of fans there, but I don't know. There's not a ton of people from Las Vegas, so it feels like people are like, yeah, we'll root for the Raiders, but we have other teams. You know?
That's the thing. It's just such a populous town as a tourist attraction that you figure people are going to go to these venues. Like the Golden Knights, people in the state of Nevada cling to. And obviously,
well, they did a great job when they debuted.
Yeah, I mean, a couple things. One, the presentation is Vegas-esque. 2, it happened after the tragic shooting. Like the Golden Knights were a team like a month after, the tragic shooting. So the Golden Knights did a great job in terms of in the community. The captain, Derek England, had a speech, and they kind of like got around that team that then went to the Stanley Cup in their first year of existence. So you kind of just bought in right away.
And then won it in their third year, I want to say?
Fourth year, I believe.
Fourth year.
So they're a different story. They're a successful West Coast NHL team, and there's not a lot of them.
People like the Vegas Aces, too, in the WNBA. They keep winning.
Yeah.
Got the MVP, Asia Wilson.
And with the Raiders, the NFL is the NFL. People are going to seek it out. So
I just have no idea if there's a market for baseball in Las Vegas. And
they've had a AAA team for years.
Sure, but baseball's not a team where you just like start liking a team because you went to a game one day. I don't think you have your teams, and you're not really switching up from that. Whereas I see the Mammoth, and I feel like there's a lot of Utah fans that have just kind of clung on to them because they've never I don't know if a team is born into your city while you're living there, I feel like you have full rights to just embrace them as your team.
Mm-hmm.
And with Vegas, it's like I just don't know what people are from Vegas.
Well, if they're
it's not to say there's nobody.
If they're not called the Athletics, it's kind of like getting a new team.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
we're so far off topic now that
it's okay.
We'll just move on. That was a good news segment, John. Thanks for for filling in.
I'll take the Kyle. That means it was of Kyle worthiness, everyday worthiness. So I'll take it.
989-837-6125. Let's get back to some of our other candidates for the Lions offensive coordinator jobs. We'll get to your guys' thoughts when we come back. 989-837-6125. That's the message to our Mitt message line. Hey, Dow, proudly rooted in Midland, is making an impact all around the world. Innovations that create solutions for cleaner water, safer homes, and more sustainable futures. A company built on science, but driven by the people, with thousands of employees who call this community home. Supporting local schools, events, and nonprofits because being a good neighbor just matters. From the lab to the Little League field, Dow is invested in the places we live, work, and play. Dow, solving with science and standing with community.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
When you go Great Lakes Bay in Michigan, lose yourself in nature and find yourself at peace. Soak up the stillness of winter on glistening trails, or glide along an outdoor ice rink. Take charming carriage rides through snowy streets. Embrace the magic of the season and warm up with comfort food and handcrafted beverages. There are moments of pure greatness all around if we linger long enough to soak them in. Find yours at gogreat.com.
Something's in the water.
Dude, it's in your mouth.
I can't see it, but I feel it.
This summer, from the people who brought you floss and fluoride, gum disease, the silent bite.
Ah! Why didn't anyone warn me?
We did. At Scott Family Dental, you may not see the problem, but we can. No insurance contracts and a team that treats you like family.
So no jaws, just gentle cleanings?
Exactly. But skip your checkup and you might need a bigger toothbrush.
Scott Family Dental. Catch the problems before they bite. Book now at scottfamdental.com.
From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford, from Frankenmuth, Freeland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning, 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region, and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesaning, or Coleman, football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
Hey, I'm Ben Bosscher.
And I'm Kyle Sandel.
And the two of us are live every weekday on 100.9 The Mitt at 9 a.m. until noon, giving you opinions on the teams that you care about the most.
The Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, those teams.
And a whole lot more. Whether we're breaking down a game from the night before, debating the biggest news from the day, or doing a draft or spread picks, we're always having fun. I mean, come on, it's our job to talk about sports. How could we not be having fun?
So if the big games aren't enough for you, if you're a real diehard fan, this show is going to be perfect for you. You can count on us to be your morning sports outlet every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show with Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandel on 100.9 The Mitt.
This is more than just a lineup. It's a daily ritual for the die-hard Michigan sports fans. At 6 a.m., Anthony Bellino wakes up the state with Spin on Sports.
I do not believe it.
At 9, the Ben Bosscher Show is appointment listening hosted here in the Great Lakes Bay region.
I would like to buy some Casey Mize stock.
America's Best takes over at noon. The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Well, what about Patrick Mahomes?
And at 3, Bill Simonson brings it home on The Huge Show. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt for the most passionate fans in Michigan.
Bel Air Brown, Dragon's Milk, Mad Hatter, Purple Gang, and Huma Loopalicious. These are names that let the imagination run wild and let the taste buds take a stroll. Welcome to the craft beer craze in Michigan. Bolstered by the Great Lakes and nurtured by the glacier-rich soil, here awaits a brewer's paradise. With fresh hops growing tall in the old Mission Peninsula and fresh barley fields sweeping the mitten, Michigan ranks 5th in the nation in the number of breweries, microbreweries, and brew pubs. From Good Harbor Golden to Whitefish Bay Wheat, from Motown Lager all the way to Park Bench Porter, Michigan is serving up a frosty glass of perfection. Whether you want to take in a game with a Two-Hearted Ale or just sit on a front porch sipping a Steelhead Red, let's tap into life at its fullest and treat ourselves to a taste that's pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
So with John Morton out, and I think we can all just agree that that was an F of a hire, I don't think they can afford another swing and miss, which is why I have continued to suggest Mike McCarthy being the next offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. Let's see what some other people have to say. 989-837-6125. Someone texted in Andrew saying, how about Mike McDaniel? He's still the head coach of the Dolphins. And we're past what? So Black Monday, we have Black Monday where all the coaches get fired. And then what do we call Tuesday? The day after Black Monday where there's usually one more person to get canned.
Sure. that right off the tongue.
We're past those 2 days. Mike McCarthy's still employed. He's not going anywhere. But that would have been my number one choice because look at what he did.
McDaniel would have been?
Oh, yeah. Look at what he did in Miami with the speed of Jalen Waddle and Achane and Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is the best career year of his season, of his career statistically in Miami. He did it with speed. Look what the Lions have. They got the speed. He didn't make it a power run team. He made this dynamic rushing attack, but he's not going anywhere.
Wow.
Bert says Brian Dable in all caps. I've been saying it since he was fired from New York.
Bring him in. Sloppy jalopy. Bring him in.
He's just I question the personality fit with the Lions. And
he's not going to put his feet on a table around Dan Campbell, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. You never really looked past that, did you? From off-season Hard Knocks.
He acted
it was
like he
a
was
year and a half ago,
Belichick.
wasn't it?
Yeah, he acted like he was Belichick with a hoodie. I'm like, you've won nothing. Nothing. Not one playoff game.
That's
with the Giants.
If that's how you feel about Dable, you can't get over that moment. I can't get over him sprinting away from the field, abandoning everyone else. In the middle of coaching a game, just runs into the medical tent to go check on his quarterback. Everyone made a big deal. Oh, he loves his quarterback. Blah blah blah. You just abandoned the other 52 guys and all the other coaches. All the other coaches are like, what do we do right now?
Yeah, that was
That was crazy.
Because everyone just went into that tent because, hey, who cares about the rules of the team doctors? Don't
No, I
trust
thought
them.
that was crazy.
Go tell Scadaboo to do it because that's what he did anyway. Tap him on the, hey, go check on Dart.
It's another guy.
You got to
who
keep
is
your eye on the
nuts.
field. Yeah, but he's nuts, so let him into the tent, Or no one into the tent so you could properly
or
assess
just
your
do it
quarterback.
there's 100 years of NFL games being played. I don't think we've ever just had players and coaches going into the NFL, into the medical tent. How about we just don't do that?
That'd be nice.
Seems fair.
That'd be nice.
The only thing other than that concerns me about Dable, I brought this up, is just all he's ever done is build around mobile quarterbacks and overuse them to the point where the Giants had to tell him, stop running Jackson Dart. You're going to get our guy hurt. This was the case with Josh Allen in his rookie season too of, yeah, we love this rocket of an arm you got, but we really just want you to run the football. And obviously now it's a lot more balanced. But there was no development from Josh Allen and his arm those first couple years he was in the NFL. Remember how many picks he used to throw?
Mm-hmm.
That was all Brian Dable too.
Rookie quarterback.
Sure, I understand that, but I don't know. I'd just be skeptical of him coming in and doing it with a stationary quarterback.
Yeah, again, that's the big point where it's where is the success that he's had with what the Lions have to do as an offense with what they got a quarterback, and you can't really point to that with Dable.
Eddie suggests Hank Fraley. He's going to be an OC somewhere else if we don't hire him. I don't. Offensive line coach to offensive coordinator overnight, especially when the offensive line just underperformed pretty drastically this year. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I want Hank Fraley to stick around, but I'm not going to be like hell-bent on keeping him this offseason like I was last year.
Sure. Yeah, I mean.
Really, I feel like the biggest reason you brought him back last year was because you didn't want Taylor Decker to just like hang it up in the middle. You didn't want Frank Ragnow to hang it up. That's what it was, and then he did it anyway. A lot of people texting in saying Cliff Kingsbury. I don't know, guys. I read you the coaches. It's an awesome list, or the quarterbacks. It's an awesome list, but all of it's out of structure. Guys that you're relying on the RPO. It's the rollouts. It's backyard football rather than timing based. So I'm all good on Cliff. All right, let's get to Michigan football. Bryce Underwood effects when we come back.
Built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Transform your outdoor space with Maple Hill Nursery. Whether you're a gardening enthusiast or just looking to relax in style, they have everything you need. From premium polywood furniture that never needs painting to top quality plants and trees, Maple Hill Nursery has it all. Plus, they offer free setup and delivery on in-stock barbecue grills.
Within the week, Michigan had landed 7 additional 4- and 5-star recruits from the 2020, rather than the 2025 recruiting cycle. So Andrew Babaloa, 5-star tackle, top 10 recruit in the country who got hurt during training camp last year. He's coming back. He wasn't able to protect Bryce this year. He's going to be able to do it this season. Blake Frazier, he was your starting tackle by the end of the season. He announced he's coming back. Zeke Berry entered the portal. Then he announced he's coming back after Bryce announced he was going to be staying with Michigan. And then starting right guard as well, same thing. The only person that you really might miss that's an Impact's loss is Cole Sullivan, who question mark on whether or not he's going to be coming back or not. Retaining players, check. Kyle Whittingham, you did it. You brought back all the key guys that there were some rumors about you potentially missing. Next step, attack the portal. I'm not surprised by the Bryce Underwood effect taking place here, but I do think it's worth bringing up because this is now the second consecutive offseason where, hey, Bryce announces something, a ton of dominoes fall afterwards. And for everyone out there that's just like dismissing the Bryce Underwood season, because there's a lot of people that were kind of content with, if he moves on, don't really need him anymore, overpaid. I tell you, A, there's no salary cap. It doesn't matter. You can pay these guys however much. There's no such thing as being overpaid because it doesn't really hurt the team. And B, he was dealing with a terrible coaching staff. I expect that to be like an enormous upgrade this offseason because now he actually has adults in the room that he can lean on. And C, look at the effect that he has on everybody else. Even in a season in which, yeah, maybe he didn't live up to the ridiculous expectations we set on him, he comes back and look at the dominoes that follow. Because I promise you, if he would have left Michigan, Andrew Marsh, whether or not he comes back, total question mark. Andrew Babaloa, whether or not he comes back, total question mark. Zeke Berry, I don't think he comes back either. I just think the effect that he has and the gravity that he has with his teammates and other players in the portal can't be understated in this situation. And you saw that come to fruition in the last 48 hours since he announced that he was coming back to Michigan.
Yeah, this is why you invest in this guy. It seems pretty obvious, but just.
But it's not because people were very out on him. It was crazy.
Well, they're out on him because he underperformed. I think the events of December and I guess extended a little bit into January have changed that, more out the door, and the way he played in the bowl game made me a believer. Just seeing him go toe-to-toe with Arch, and I know it was in a losing effort and everything like that, but I think he played really strong, and that was with an interim coach. You have a guy in Whittingham you bring in, and Underwood had, that hour meeting? All right, I want to stay, and there you go. And you knew he was going to be the linchpin for these players because guys want to play with him. Guys want to play with a quarterback that they deem dynamic, a number one overall guy, a guy that's getting paid the way he did too. It might not be, optically what you see on the field, like, all right, a recruit's going to want to play with Bryce Underwood, but all the surrounding circumstances of Bryce Underwood is going to lure you with prospects, and you need him. The best part of this era of college football that people like to poke holes in, and it has its positives and it has its negatives, but in a yesteryear of college football, Michigan, the brand, which has taken more than a shot to the gut, basically a knockout punch, is being elevated by this guy who's determining, okay, we got the bad stuff out the door, I believe in the new stuff, I'm going to stay, when, let's not forget, this was a guy who was going to go to LSU until there was more money coming his way. But now, all right, the money's still coming his way, and there's a belief with him meeting with the new head coach, being treated seriously. Yeah, even though you're not even through your freshman year as a student, I'm going to have an hour meeting with you as the head coach. That's how you build culture. And they know that they need Underwood to lure these guys. So if you're a Michigan fan, thank goodness of the last regime that they brought in a guy of this caliber to play quarterback, because he's helping your transfer portal and your new head coach, which I think he's going to have success. Whittingham's going to have success in the portal, but a lot of that's going to be tied in having this freshman quarterback more so than necessarily the brand of Michigan, which is a tough thing for people to swallow. I get it, but it's the fact of the matter in 2026.
I really like the boxing analogy because there is really no reason other than Bryce Underwood being around that Michigan isn't, totally in the dumps. Like, you can't repair the damage that's been done to the reputation. It's like they got knocked down pretty good, but because they have Bryce Underwood, they were able to stand up again, retain other guys, and now maybe attack the portal in a way where you're going to be bouncing back in a way that is incredible next season. Like, the upgrade at coaching staff alone, I don't think can be just like overminded, or understated.
Sure.
It's an upgrade at coach. Kyle Whittingham could disappoint everyone, and he's still an upgrade at what they have at the head coach level and all the assistant coaches as well. Like, the negative stuff that we hear after the season ends about the way that Sharon Moore was running practice, and it felt like that everyone was walking around eggshells around him. I have no reason to think that this team's not going to take a step forward, and I think that all starts because of Bryce Underwood. Because if you don't have him, or if even worse, you are going to lose him to the portal this offseason, you got to tear this thing down to the studs, and you don't even know who your quarterback is. Then all of a sudden, you got Andrew Marsh and some of these other 4- and 5-star players from last year's recruiting class leaving in the portal because they came here just to play with Bryce Underwood. And then all of a sudden, you really are like taking a step backwards in terms of what are our expectations for this season. Now, because he stayed and because everyone else wanted to stay with him, you can walk into next season like, hey, Sharon Moore might have done some real damage to our reputation. We don't care about that. That's in the past, and we're here to make the playoffs. I think that's a realistic goal for the Wolverines next year, and it all starts with retaining Bryce Underwood.
It does. It does. And another positive of the, again, current college football landscape is that a scandal like that can kill recruiting classes for years on end, and can you build it up to a caliber that's playoff worthy. Now, to transfer portal, you don't have to worry about that. If people want to still play with Bryce Underwood, they're not tied to the Michigan brand. They're not even tied to last season, because what is last season now? Last season was with a coach that's not there anymore and a quarterback that still performed maybe not above expectations, but above average with a guy who wasn't setting him up to succeed. And the one game that we saw, okay, maybe not the chains off completely, but all right, go out there and ball Bryce Underwood in the bowl game, he did. So that's
for 2.5 quarters he did.
Sure.
Then he
So that's what you have, at least on tape, if you want to show it. But more than anything, you have, again, the fact that he's a 5-star caliber recruit that's getting paid all this money, and recruits look at that. The athletes that are looking in the portal are looking at that, and they're more concerned on the guys they get to play with than what happened last year. Luckily for you, if you're a Michigan fan, and it starts and ends with Bryce Underwood right now. And again, it's a scary feeling. Like, people have this trepidation because, no, the brand and the education and, the fact that we're Michigan and Bo Schembechler, that's supposed to recruit kids now.
No, it's not.
Not anymore.
Dollars and zeros.
Not anymore. Believe me, I wish. Part of me wishes we were in a world where, hey, the kids throughout this state, if they want to play at Michigan and they're that caliber, they get to, and whatever. We're way past that. We're past whoever's the top recruit and you're willing to dish out money to, that's who's coming to play for your program.
It's commas and zeros.
And,
that's the biggest reason Bryce Underwood's at Michigan right now.
And you got your hometown kid. He was born, raised, and educated high school-wise. Here in Michigan, you got him. Now, to continue success for the program, he's got to be he's your blue chip to recruit people too.
Yes. That's the biggest key, and the reason I couldn't figure out why people were so like, no, if he leaves, he leaves. There's a scary domino effect if Bryce Underwood would have entered the portal, and I'm glad that we don't have to find out what that domino effect would have been. But you're seeing the positives of it here with everyone staying, and I think the next step of that is Whittingham attacking the portal and convincing offensive talent, hey, come play with Bryce Underwood, because I promise you, all the flashes you saw from this kid, we're going to take this and run with it here in his sophomore and junior season. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, me too. And with the new coach, with Whittingham, I mean, I know you guys had shows with it, but I think there's high upside with him. I really do. And
I think there's a high floor too.
Yeah, and I think just them having that meeting right away, I think was the first good sign. And the one thing I'm not concerned about with Michigan now, at least from a football, just solely football program perspective, you could turn away the term culture. You could still apply it here, but there's just a guy with morals that's in the building in Whittingham, which is, I think, good for everyone involved.
Did you see the stat that on Instagram he only follows 3 women?
Really?
His 2 daughters and his wife.
There you go.
Those are the only women he follows.
Wow.
That's how low the bar is. And for the Michigan head coach, if you only follow 3 women, you're already off to a good footnote.
There you go.
There were some signs with Sharon Moore.
Really? Now there's signs in January?
Yeah, I mean, if I never had the wherewithal to be like, I want to see who Sharon Moore is following.
Yeah.
I guess anybody could have cracked this.
Anyone could have. You could have been Pablo Torre over here. Decided not to be.
No. Hopefully I'm never Pablo Torre. 989-837-6125.
You have better hair, don't worry.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, when we come back, I want to discuss whether or not we're buying or selling stock on Bryce Underwood, because you can probably tell my answer before we get to it. And I also want to give away Michigan State tickets for their basketball game next Tuesday against Indiana in the Breslin Center. 8 o'clock tip. Should be a fun game. We'll give tickets away to that thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet when we come back. 10 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by our friends over at Corning, a global leader in material science right here in Midland. From the glass in your smartphones to innovations that power clean energy and advanced medicine, Corning is shaping the future, but it's not just about the technology, it's also about the people. Corning invests in the community, supports local schools, and creates opportunities close to home. With a legacy of innovation and commitment to what's next, Corning is proud to call Midland a part of its story. Corning, creating life-changing innovations one breakthrough at a time.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
From the depths of the ocean to the farthest reaches of space, Corning's technologies push the boundaries of what's possible. We're the world's leading innovator in glass and ceramic science, and we're innovating right here in Michigan. Corning's solar wafer site in Hemlock is helping guarantee American energy security. We're investing in our local Michigan communities. That's why Corning is a proud sponsor of the Great Lakes Loons. Learn more about Corning today at corning.com.
Suit up, Sea Captain. At Dive and Glide in Midland, we've got all the gear you need to make a splash. Flippers that fit like a glove, masks that show you the underwater magic, and tanks ready to fuel your next adventure. Whether you're snorkeling the local lakes or dreaming of ocean depths, Dive and Glide has your back and your fins. Find us on Cambridge Street or swim over to diveandglideinc.com. Dive and Glide, making waves one splash at a time so you can dive deeper than ever before.
Blazy Electric is saying thank you to their customers with 10% off all service calls now through at least the end of January. Whether it's a small fix or a bigger electrical need, their trusted service team is ready to help. Just make sure your service call is completed within 30 days of your estimate to take advantage of the savings. For 60 years, Blazy Electric has proudly powered our community with reliable, honest service, and they couldn't have done it without you. Call Blazy Electric today and let them take care of the rest.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think.
I think if the Pistons trade for Michael Porter Jr., they are winning the Eastern Conference. I think just because the Lions missed the playoffs this season doesn't mean there's any need for big-time changes when it comes to the regime of Bran Holmes, Dan Campbell, and Jared Goff for that matter. I think every time we see this Michigan basketball team take the floor, we are witnessing one piece of what could be a historic season. And I think if you agree or disagree with anything I just said, you should listen to The Ben Bosscher Show, weekdays from 9 to noon.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, what do you say we give away some Michigan State versus Indiana tickets for the basketball game on Tuesday down in East Lansing? That sound good to you?
Oh, I'm down.
You're in a way a guest of the show today,
Thanks,
filling in
man.
for Kyle. How about you pick the key word that people have to text in?
Ooh. I'm going to make it a little challenging.
Do people have to spell something?
Yeah, I mean, they should be able to if they want to go to a Michigan State game, but it's more than like 4 words. How about keyword Spartans? It's like 6, 7 letters.
I really hope everyone can spell Spartans. So go ahead and text in the word Spartans.
You'd be
surprised. Let me spell that out for you. S-P-A-R-T-A-N. S. And if you, Spartans. Text Spartans to 989-837-6125 if you would like a chance to win tickets to the Michigan State versus Indiana game on Tuesday of next week. We'll pick a winner here shortly. Again, that's Spartans to 989-837-6125. Big Win Wednesday, as always, is made possible by our friends over at Garber Chevrolet. I think I made this pretty obvious in the last segment. I'm going to be buying Bryce Underwood stock going into next season. I want it. I want all of it. I know it was a little bit disappointing of a year. Kind of went crazy after the first 2 games, and then it was just kind of from that point forward. But now with the real offseason of coaches, now with the real offseason, with adults in the room, people he can lean on, people who are experienced quarterback coaches who are former quarterbacks themselves, it seems like just kind of something that should always be the case. It was not last year. I want all the Bryce Underwood stock because one thing I do know, every time that this guy talks in front of a microphone or in front of a camera, it is not as if you're talking to an 18-year-old. He's very well spoken. You can tell his intentions are to get to the NFL. He doesn't want to take the fast route there. He wants all of, he wants it. He wants to be the guy, and he knows the responsibility and the weight that's going to be put on his shoulders when that happens. I think he comes across as a kid who's extremely intelligent and motivated to get to that next level. I just think he lacked those around him that shared that same interest and respected him enough to give him those things, to give him those that avenue to get to the pro level last season with the Sharon Moore coaching staff. And now that he has people like that with like-minded mindsets, I am all in on him taking this massive leap forward next season. And Heisman contention, that seems a little bit rich, but I don't know. Like I think we're approaching him turning into the number 1 overall recruit that he was.
Well, I do know, but we have to quantify the stock here, in my opinion, because if he's not Heisman caliber, like where are we buying this from? Because you're making it sound that it's completely fallen off. Like we're not that we're buying a penny stock right now, but the value of him is really near the bottom of the floor.
He finished dead last in the Big Ten in completion percentage. He was god-awful against the Michigan State, Ohio State, and Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
There were some people that were not too thrilled with the Bryce Underwood season.
I get that. So we're just going off public perception of him?
Yeah, because I feel like, okay, if he comes into the year with the hype train at a 8, it probably goes up to a 9 at some point in those first 3 weeks, and then by the end, it's like a 4.
Wow.
3 or 4. People were not happy. And maybe a little bit of stock in that first half of the bowl game, it goes up. I just think he's going to be so much better than he was as a freshman. And usually that's the expectation when you go from a freshman to a sophomore. But when you're the number 1 overall recruit, highest recruit in program history, and you have a freshman season that, there's some good, there's some bad, probably a little bit more bad this year. Everything's picked apart. Now I'm ready to go all in and be like, that's not happening again. He's going to be a significantly improved quarterback, which again, like I said, should obviously happen from freshman to sophomore. But I think that leap is bound to be a leap more than a step this season with the coaching staff upgrades, like-minded people around him, the natural progression from freshman to sophomore anyway, and just this kid's character.
Yeah,
I'm ready to plant my flag and say I'm ready for the Bryce Underwood surgence this season.
Okay. I'm in agreement. I don't think it's plummeted enough where you could buy now. I think we just have 2 different perspectives of where it's coming from. I feel like everyone feels he's going to take how could he take a step worse? Not to say that he was that bad, but the situation he was dealt in terms of a head coach who wasn't in it mentally, game planning, not using him to the best extent, he has to be better. Right?
Yes.
So from that buyer's perspective, I just don't know how much value you're getting by buying it, unless we take the step, but I don't think you're willing to, of Heisman candidate. Because that's how I would buy it. Not that he's going to win the award, right?
Does he have to be a finalist?
He's got to be a final. What else would he be? He doesn't have
someone who's just
he doesn't have to go to New York.
He's
got to finish in the top 10, though.
Oh, okay. That's what I was trying to clarify.
Okay, because that's
to me what a finalist is. You end up in New York.
I mean, that number's arbitrary though, because sometimes 3 guys go, sometimes 5 guys go. Like that number has differed through the years. Like there's top 10 in terms of the voting. I think he's going to be one of those top 10.
Okay,
guys.
Then I'm willing to say that. I think he's going to be top 10 in Heisman voting next season.
Okay.
Not to say he's going to get to New York, but I think he plays like one of the
10 best players in the countries.
10 best quarterbacks, yeah.
I mean, you think it's just going to be – I mean, there's other players who get nominated finalists. But all right, top 10 quarterbacks. Like that's where I'm with you there. I'll buy that. because I think that's still low enough where buying it, getting good value. Him taking the next step, him being better, him being just overall how you view Bryce Underwood, I feel it's a guarantee it's going to be better because it can't be worse. I know that's tough to say, like he was bottom of the barrel this year. Just where Michigan fans' expectations are, and then how sourly it ended with Jerome Moore, I think it's almost impossible for him not to take a next step. We saw it in the bowl game. We saw it with, even if you want to say it was just 2.5 quarters of evidence, I was watching a different guy. You know, I was sitting there with my dad watching, like that was the best quarterback matchup of the non-college football playoff games.
For sure.
And not to say that, you know, I watched the Idaho Potato Bowl or anything like that, but of the big marquee bowls, like that one had me glued to the chair because they were both going back and forth. It was two good, not great teams because they're not in the playoff, going back and forth. And he and Arch are going to be those two next year that I think are ducking it out for, potentially the Heisman. Like that's where I am with it. Unless there's someone who's under the radar right now.
I think Sellers.
Who's that? LSU's
No, the South Carolina guy who
I can't say I've
hurt
seen
this
him.
year. He think like Cam Newton. He's just a monster, but dealt with a ton of injuries last year. Team around him wasn't very good. Had a much better season in 23.
Okay.
Or in 24,
sure.
I guess.
If you want to throw him in. But I believe you because you've watched him and I haven't. But
of course, if Dante Moore comes back, he'll be in that as well. But
Sure.
I don't know if he's going to be coming back. Sam Leavitt, wherever he ends up, I think is totally in question of being one of the better quarterbacks in the nation. We'll see.
Aiden Giles, no.
No, I don't think Aiden Giles. I don't think
Come on,
anybody
still
from
in the Big Ten.
Northwestern is ever going to be in the Heisman finalists.
Wow.
I'm just going to go out and say that.
You know, I would have said that, but if you told me last year or 2 years ago that there wouldn't be an Indiana guy in Heisman, I would have believed you too.
It's true.
It's true. But yeah, I'll buy
a Colorado player to win it.
Yeah.
For that matter.
That's true too. If I'm buying Underwood Heisman finalist stock, I'm not buying Underwood being better than last year's stock because I just don't see the value in it.
Fair enough.
Is that fair?
Yeah, no, I can get behind that. I was just weary of saying finalist because it's like, okay, he has to end up in New York. Like, it's probably just not going to happen. But to end up on the ballot, I think that's totally fair.
Okay.
I'm with you.
All right.
989-837-6125. Text in Spartan for a chance to win Michigan State, Indiana tickets. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Boring floors, if you've got them, Premier Tile and Stone is here to rescue your surfaces from the snooze zone. These folks, they turn tile into art. I'm talking kitchens, bathrooms, backsplashes, fireplaces. If it holds still, they'll tile it beautifully. Locally owned in Midland, they keep your, but their work looks like it belongs in a magazine that charges $15 an issue. A giant selection of fancy stuff, porcelain, ceramic, natural stone, and materials you probably can't even pronounce, but you will love it. Stop dreaming, start scheming. Visit the showroom and let your interior designer run wild. That's Premier Tile and Stone, where your floors get fabulous and grout gets glorious.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Near, on the wall, whose house is the nicest on the block of them all?
Not yours.
What do you mean?
Your siding is faded, your gutters are falling off, and you have shingles missing. I suggest you call Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
I'm going to call Bresky Siding and Building Repair right now. Near, on the wall, now whose house is the nicest of them all?
Yours is, kind sir, yours is.
Call me, Derek Bresky, at Bresky Siding and Building Repair today.
It is the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9, The Mitt. This month's recipient is Anyela Eichelberger from Saginaw United. With a 3.99 GPA, Anyela is a two-sport athlete in volleyball and tennis. She serves as a youth ambassador, a stand-up student, and her art is award-winning.
You have art good enough, the teacher will enter your pieces into the show. I did not even know mine was entered into the show. And I actually won 2 awards for the 2 pieces that were entered. The medium I used was color pencil, and it was like a geometric sort of shape, and then the other one was like dot art.
Anyela has been dual enrolled at Delta College in her senior year. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete for our scholarship program, visit 1009themitt.com.
Baseball time. Ready to make your summer unforgettable? Bring your crew to Dow Diamond with special group ticket offerings from the Great Lakes Loons. Whether it's your office, church, team, or family party, there's nothing like being at the ballpark. Private venues, high-end food options, or discounted tickets and food credits for groups as small as 16. Book your group outing today by calling 989-837-BALL or visit loons.com.
From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford, from Frankenmuth, Freeland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning, 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region, and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesaning, or Coleman, football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
All right, folks, let's get started. Parents, thanks for coming. As many of you know, I'm Coach Mather. Tonight I want to talk about the season, of which I only have one expectation, that everybody gets stronger. When I say get stronger, I'm not referring solely to physical strength. Sure, we'll be in the weight room, we'll be running stairs, but we're also going to focus on developing mental toughness and grit, because those are the characteristics that allow us to achieve greatness both on and off the court. So, how do we develop those things? By getting comfortable with a challenge, by cultivating the confidence necessary to overcome adversity in all forms. That's why I coach. That's my purpose. Every member of this team can lean on me, and I'll teach them how they can lean on themselves and each other.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, we have our winner selected for Big Win Wednesday, thanks to our friends over at Garber Chevrolet. Our winner for today is... Everybody give it up for Rodney. He's going to the Michigan State versus Indiana game on Tuesday. Again, that is thanks to Big Win Wednesday and our friends over at Garber Chevrolet who make that possible every Wednesday.
Rodney, let's go. Where's Ronnie out of? Do we know?
We do not know.
Oh. Big Rod.
Big Rod.
That's good, though. That's going to be a good game. Indiana's good this year.
They are. Spartans just rolling through USC in their last game after a loss to Nebraska, so hopefully they're able to keep things rolling. Again, congratulations to Rodney. He's going to the game. Every Wednesday, Big Win Wednesday, you got a chance to be a big-time winner, just like next Wednesday.
Ooh.
Okay, let's take a trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
We've been alluding to this. There are 7 different head coach openings right now in the NFL. You have the Cardinals, the Ravens, the Falcons, the Browns, the Raiders, the Giants, and the Titans. I want to go through and put these in order of the most intriguing job and the least enticing job that's open right now.
Mm-hmm.
Where should I start? Should I start at the bottom or should I start at the most enticing job to take?
Let's start at the bottom. I think that's because, I mean, you're going to know my top option.
Don't tell me it's the Giants.
It is.
Oh, my God.
How is it not?
We'll get to the top. Let's start at the bottom. I think you and I would agree on this.
Mm-hmm.
Just based on, everything ever, I feel like the last one has to just be the Browns, right? This is what happens to
I would
coaches.
disagree.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's your quarterback? You don't trust your GM. Your defense is hit and miss. It's very Myles Garrett dependent. I guess that's the one thing you have going for you. If you're going to make the case on why you should take the Browns job, it's like, hey, you got a high floor as a defense. But I don't know, man. Like, I just don't. If I was a head coach and I was, on the market to become a head coach, I guess, the Browns would be the last one that I was like, because I feel like I'm just destined to be fired in 3 years. It's just what they do.
The only reason I would put Arizona worse than Cleveland, and I'm kind of considering Tennessee, is with Arizona, you don't have the quarterback, but you don't have a defense like the Browns do. The Browns have the sacks king They have rookies that, what's his name, Schweissinger or whatever. He was a stud. A solid secondary. Jim Schwartz as your DC, I think, is going to stay.
Maybe.
So
that's not a
potentially
guarantee.
no, but if you get the job, you have a built-in DC who's been there for a long time, who's coached in that market. I would not put Cleveland last. I would put Arizona, who's got nothing besides Trey McBride, and Tennessee. You're kind of hoping Ward's the guy, and I think you're a little higher on him than maybe I am. I just don't know if he's the guy yet.
So I had the Cardinals second to last, so
Okay.
I'm glad we were on the same page with the last two. But I just think from a fundamental top-down organizational standpoint, there's just a lot more history of the Browns never being able to figure it out than there is that the Cardinals. Like, at least the Cardinals have had Frisky. And you say they have no quarterback. They have more of a quarterback situation figured out than the Browns do.
How?
I mean,
Kyler's gone.
Who says who? We don't know that.
That's what it seems like.
It depends what happens here with their head coach. Like, you can convince yourself if you're taking the Arizona job, at least there's, if you're interviewing for the job, the owner or the GM, whoever it is, can sit down and be like, listen, we're keeping Kyler Murray. You have the best tight end in the NFL in Trey McBride. Marvin Harrison Jr. is still going to be intriguing. We're going to bring back Michael Wilson, and you can have this awesome offense with a healthy Kyler, and we'll get the defense figured out too. I just think Jonathan Gannon was like truly one of the worst coaches in the NFL. There's a reason that he was canned. There's a reason that team had 3 wins and you're number 3 of him. I just think there's more like to grab onto. But to your point, it's just like you look around in that division, and I don't know how you can envision the Cardinals getting to the top of that anytime soon with the Rams and Seahawks and the 49ers with awesome coaches, all 3 of them. So that's just a tough spot to grab. But I think there's more there to grab onto than the Browns. The Browns is just like, there's 40 years of evidence. It's just organizational failure, time and time again.
I mean, yeah, if you're going off the whole history of the org, sure. I mean, they've wasted a generational pass rusher's career there.
For sure.
So I get it. I just nothing entices me about Arizona's team. And maybe Kyler should. He never stays healthy.
Nope.
And
you're right.
You have the 3rd overall pick. You're not going to go quarterback there if you're Arizona.
The first 2 guys are quarterbacks. I don't really know who. There's not really another guy.
That's rough.
Number 5 I had. Go ahead.
I was about to say, am I good to put Tennessee below Cleveland, or are you going to fight me on that too?
I am going to fight you on that.
Okay.
Because at number 5, I have the Raiders.
Really? Okay.
They have the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
I think they're that's the biggest thing.
You control your destiny. You get anyone you want. Thanks to the Giants.
There's just still so much wrong with this team. Like, at the surface, the selling point is, all right, you're going to have the 1st overall pick. You've got a long leash. We promise you're not a one and done. We've done that too many times here. You've got maybe the actual best tight end in the NFL if he can stay healthy, in Brock Bowers. And then you've got this awesome pass rusher on the other side of things. But my counter would be like, cool, whoever I draft at quarterback is just going to die because you guys refuse to draft offensive linemen. This is going to be back-to-back years where in the top 6 of the draft, they're going to take skill guys on offense, and it's not going to fix any of the problems that they have, that their offensive line is terrible. I think any quarterback that gets drafted into this situation is in for a rough rookie season.
Yeah.
That's why I'd have the Raiders pretty far back.
Okay.
Defense that the best players not getting any younger in Max Crosby. It feels like this is just one of those teams that's destined to, and again, you look at the other coaches in that division, and it's just really hard to climb the mountain.
So that, I mean, we're going on Tennessee, maybe not even being a more enticing job in terms of the weapons. There's just light at the end of the tunnel if you're a Tennessee coach because you're not dealing with a strong division.
That, and I think they're one of the few teams on this list that you know who the quarterback is.
I mean, you know who the quarterback is. It's just if that guy's the answer.
I think he is. I'm a Cam Ward believer.
Mm-hmm.
I think that what was around Cam Ward this past season was a complete disaster. What they fired Brian Callahan a month into the season, and it's basically a lost season from that point forward. Cam Ward, the last 4 weeks that he played, I'm not counting the Week 18 game where he threw the ball 3 times. and had 70 yards.
Wow.
8 touchdowns, 1 interceptions, and was just making like these crazy plays time and time again, even though his offensive line stunk and he had no weapons around him. I mean, who is Cam Ward's best weapon? Calvin Ridley?
No.
Who didn't
who's
do
that
anything?
DK guy? He was good.
Yeah, the rookie.
Yeah.
I just think they're destined to take a little bit of a step forward this year. I like Cam Ward. So I had the Titans 3.
Okay.
And I had the Giants 4.
That's unbelievable. Are you kidding me?
I'm not.
You'd have the Giants as a worse job than the Titans?
Yes.
Oh, my. Kick rocks. That's ridiculous. You have so much in place for New York. You have an elite pass rush because, I was explaining to people in the ticket office downstairs, too. Like, they're going to have to probably get rid of Kayvon Thibodeau. There's just not enough rushes to go around, not enough snaps to go around. So you have at least a good defensive line. You have an offensive line that made improvements, and you can go and draft it. You have the quarterback in place that is actually, won a couple of games, not just been good and then gets hurt or has been good.
No, but here's the thing. Literally just a couple of games.
Correct.
He won 2 games.
Correct.
I don't think.
Against the Eagles and the Chargers.
This is my biggest reason why they're 4 and not 2 or 3 or 1. I just don't think Jackson Dart's that good.
Yeah. So the main thing is you think Cam Ward is this, and I think he's this, and you think Jackson Dart is low, and I think he's high.
Look what happened once Jackson Dart stopped running the football, and they basically told him, you have to actually start passing it. He couldn't.
What happened? They went 2-0. They won games they weren't supposed to because they're morons.
Yeah, but that's the end of the season. Whatever.
It's
when the
wins
games
in the
matter,
NFL.
He was not winning.
Well,
I just think as a passer, as someone who has to actually play the quarterback position, I would much rather have Cam Ward than Jackson Dart. And look, man, there's a reason Cam Ward went first overall and Jackson Dart went what? Where'd he go?
6? Was he lower than that? Oh, no, he was in the 20s, wasn't he?
You tell me. You should probably know this. He's allegedly your franchise quarterback. I just don't think that he's the long-term answer at that position.
25th, because the Giants drafted your boy, what's his name? Carter.
Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
I think he got drafted into a much better situation with a better head coach and decent weapons around him. In Scadaboo and Malik Neighbors before Malik Neighbors went down for the season.
Mm-hmm. Better situation. So inherit that situation if you're a head coach.
But now they're trapped into having Jackson Dart as their quarterback.
They're not trapped in anything. They could have start Russell Wilson if you like, Jameis Winston, or get another free agent. They're not trapped at all. Especially because you know you're going to have to get security because he might get a concussion.
Would you be content? How would you like this? You trade Jackson Dart to the Raiders for the first pick.
No way. Dude, first off.
For the first pick, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't trade away Jackson Dart to have the first overall pick and take Mendoza.
No. I'm taking an unknown again. So, I like Mendoza. But, all right, he won a Heisman, so he's going to be better than a guy with a year of experience in the league.
Jackson Dart was not a first-round evaluated quarterback until the very end when people got desperate for a quarterback. And I think that's just kind of not to say I haven't budged my opinion on him at all after the season, but...
You said he was worse than Dylan Gabriel. Okay, I was in my car fuming.
It's just sometimes you look back at that stuff and it's just sometimes the evaluations, they're more true than maybe the rookie season says because of the situations that they got drafted into. And I just think I'd rather tie myself to Cam Ward than Jackson Dart.
All right.
Which is why I have the Giants 4.
But you'd rather tie yourself to
3.
Fernando Mendoza than Jackson Dart, a guy you've never even seen take an NFL snap in the preseason.
No, I think Mendoza's fine. But either way, I have the Falcons at number 2.
But you'd make the trade for the number 1 pick.
If I'm the Giants, yeah. Yeah, I would.
Man.
Falcons, I have it 2.
Correct.
Where'd you have the Falcons?
Well, I would have them 3 just because I have the Giants 1, the Ravens 2, of course. But,
I think the Falcons situation's weird because if they can figure out the quarterback, this is an awesome team.
Yeah.
Overnight.
Correct.
Drake London, Kyle Pitts came along at the end, Bijan Robinson, defense that was pretty good statistically in terms of total yardage. If they have a halfway decent quarterback, this is going to be a super fun team next season.
100%.
The problem is they don't have their first-round pick, and I don't know who their quarterback's going to be because it's not going to be Michael Penix because his ACL's in half.
Yeah.
And number 1, of course,
Baltimore
Ravens.
Yeah.
You get to go coach Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
You had the Giants second behind them, right?
No, the Giants number 1.
Dude.
Dude, you have expectations in Baltimore. You have expectations with an okay
the division that they play in. Should be able to win that easily, theoretically.
And this year, with a guy who's won a Super Bowl, so you got to come in right away with the expectation that you got to win the division against Mike Tomlin, who always makes the playoffs. That's tough. I'm good with Lamar Jackson, who gets hurt every year. I love him. Great talent, former, two-time MVP?
Yep.
But gets hurt every year, and you have to worry about his happiness day in, day out. Where you get to, with the Giants, foster whatever you want with already weapons that are there. Great defensive weapons, and Malik Neighbors and Cam Scatterbo.
My counter would be...
And potentially veteran quarterback.
You take the Ravens head coaching job, and you're automatically in Super Bowl contention. I think that's the only team on this list
with
that
a team that with literally you're in Super Bowl contention on the thought process just based on what you have, but a team that's failed year in and year out, and a team that's going to have to battle a gauntlet of teams in the AFC that keeps getting stronger. New England, Denver's great.
Yeah,
we're not even talking Mahomes because he's not in it this year. Allen's going to be there. That's tough. Your division's one thing. Beyond that. Tough.
Giants number 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude.
It's crazy.
Get to be the head coach.
We need a little crazy sometimes.
And I will say this. I think what makes a little more in-depth with the Giants, I do think if you're compelling enough to the ownership group of Tisch and Mara, that you could oust Joe Schoen if you want. You could have control over the GM.
Maybe that's why the Giants are number 1 for me.
Yeah.
GM still is employed.
Yes, and I will take. If you're telling me, hey, Shane is the reason that they're not higher on your list, I'm fine with that.
989-837-6125. We'll get some more thoughts on your guys' opinions on Bryce Underwood, whether or not you're buying or selling stock. Your thoughts on the effect that he had on the team in the last couple of days, really, since he announced his return. 989-837-6125 is the Ben Bosscher Show here on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Sharon Mortensen, President and CEO of the Midland Area Community Foundation.
Well, a couple things I'll mention. One I'm really proud of is the work we've done on post-secondary education, because when we think about what really transforms an individual's life, it's education. Mm-hmm. That makes such a difference in the ability to be able to have a livable wage, to be able to contribute to your community, to be able to give back. So the work that we've done in the post-secondary space, because we give out a lot of scholarships, but when I got there, I went, it seems like we're just a processor of scholarships. I want to be a promoter of education.
Yeah. Listen to the full episode on YouTube at 100.9 The Mitt. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
Broken appliance? Don't panic. Call Mr. Appliance. With a 4.9-star Google rating, our expert service professionals deliver speedy service with a 1-year done-right promise, so you can count on long-lasting repairs. We treat your home or business with care, no mess, and no trace left behind. Ask about our appliance wellness program to keep things running smoothly year-round. Visit us online at MrAppliance.com for easy online scheduling and local contact information. Mr. Appliance, speedy, trusted, guaranteed.
Transform your outdoor space with Maple Hill Nursery. Whether you're a gardening enthusiast or just looking to relax in style, they have everything you need. From premium polywood furniture that never needs painting to top quality plants and trees, Maple Hill Nursery has it all. Plus, they offer free setup and delivery on in-stock barbecue grills. Visit them today just north of Midland Mall or check out their website for pro tips and expert advice. Maple Hill Nursery, making your yard the place to be.
Hey Midland, join the Silver Sneakers and Renew Active programs at the Midland Community Center, where fitness for seniors is fun and free. With Silver Sneakers and Renew Active, seniors 65 and older enjoy access to Greater Midland Community Center, North Family Center, and Coleman Family Center, all at no extra cost with eligible Medicare Advantage plans. Dive into all group fitness classes, exclusive Silver Sneakers classes, and our Greater Midland Walking Club. Get moving with Silver Sneakers and Renew Active at the Midland Community Center.
This winter, the hottest action in Midland isn't on a screen. It's on the court at the Dow Tennis Classic, February 15th through the 22nd. The lights, the speed, the perfect hush just before a match-winning shot. It's all back, and it's more electrifying than ever. Come watch world-class athletes battle for every point, every set, every moment, right here in your own backyard. It's fast, it's fierce, and it is unforgettable. Tickets are on sale now. Visit DowTennisClassic.com. Be there February 15th to the 22nd for the Dow Tennis Classic.
We got a game, boys! This week on Sunday Night Football.
Sunday night is the 2-seed versus 7-seed matchup in the AFC. The New England Patriots hosting the Los Angeles Chargers. Both teams are looking for their first postseason win since 2019. Coverage at 7:30 Sunday night, presented by Ace Hardware, downtown Midland.
Don't miss a moment right here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. Local sports don't stop when the game ends, and neither do we. 100.9 The Mitt is your digital home for the latest news across the state of Michigan. From high school to college and the pros, it's all on our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search 100.9 The Mitt and join the squad. Stay locked in on the latest stats and stories with exclusive video takes from local talent. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt.
High school sports don't just happen. There's a ton of work that goes into every single athletic event.
And we have our school's athletic director to thank for a lot of it. Thank you.
For scheduling officials, so I can always play the game I love.
For ordering quality athletic equipment, so I can stay safe on the field.
For mentoring my coaches, so they can be the best role models for me.
For coordinating transportation, so I can get focused for the big game.
For helping us develop character and learn lessons that will benefit us for the rest of our lives.
Thank you to our AD for always creating a positive experience for us. We'll never forget it.
From all of us at the NIAAA, thank you to every athletic administrator in Michigan for all you do to enrich the lives of your students. It does not go unnoticed. This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
(989-837-6125). Welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show. We were talking about Bryce Underwood and whether or not we're buying or selling stock on him. The effect that he had, I think, was maybe the most important thing to take away, because look, he comes back, announces his return on Monday, and in the next 48 hours, he's got all these guys lined up to come back as well, whether it's Andrew Marsh, Babaloa. All these guys want to come play with Bryce Underwood, and I think if he were to have left, you lose out on all these other 4 or 5-star recruits that played good last year or didn't play at all last year in the case of Babaloa, who got hurt before the season started. The domino effect, I think, is the craziest thing, because we saw the exact same thing happen last offseason when they were able to flip Babaloa and all these other 4, Andrew Marsh, able to flip all these guys within a week of Bryce Underwood actually committing to Michigan.
Yeah, I hit on it in the first segment, and I'll be more succinct this time. Bryce Underwood's more important than the brand of Michigan in terms of recruiting players to Michigan. And it's a result of 2026 NIL transfer portal. It's also a result of Sharon Moore saga. That is the linchpin of getting guys through the door. Bryce Underwood, then Whittingham, and then the rest.
This is
beautiful
why I
Ann
said
Arbor, the mountains, the snow, whatever you want to say.
Right, beautiful Ann Arbor.
Whatever you want to say.
This is why I was saying throughout the entire coaching cycle, it's like, yeah, it's important that they hire the right coach, but it's equally as important that they bring back Bryce Underwood. And people thought I was crazy for saying this, but I kind of stand by it. They should have asked Bryce Underwood, hey, man, like, what do you want in your next head coach? And maybe they did ask him. I have no idea.
I mean, before, I think the hire was made official, we were doing a show, and I said, yeah, you treat Underwood like the superstar pro player that you consider when bringing in a new head coach. Like, that's what Ward Manuel should do, or whoever was making the decision. Like, we talked on that, and it should be the case because you're paying the guy, $12 million.
I mean, we just got a notification from Ian Rappaport basically saying, yeah, the Ravens are looking for a head coach that will, quote, reach or invigorate Lamar Jackson and get the absolute most out of him. Maybe Michigan did do that, maybe they didn't. I stood by the fact that they should have,
I think
made
in a way
it a priority to make Bryce Underwood comfortable with their next head coaching hire. And I don't know if we'll ever find out if that actually happened or not. But again, I think it was equally as important to keep Bryce Underwood as it was to hire the right head coach, because look at all the guys that it allowed you to keep after he committed to playing his sophomore season at Michigan.
Yeah, I don't know if it was as clear as like, okay, Bryce, you picked the coach or whatever, but one of Whittingham's first things when he got through the door was having an hour meeting with Bryce Underwood. Because that was, the first result or effect of if he's going to be a successful head coach in his year or not, if he's going to retain the guy. If they didn't gel, it's an uphill climb immediately for Whittingham. Not that it still isn't, but it's a lot easier when you have Underwood helping you push the sleigh up. So, that's how you have to treat it in the modern day when you're paying the guy $12 million. And the selling point of getting new guys through the door, whether it's through the portal or recruits, is playing with Bryce Underwood, not getting to wear maize and blue.
I asked you if Bryce Underwood was overrated, underrated, if you wanted to buy or sell stock on him. Let's see what the people had to say. 989-837-6125. Mike said, folds under pressure, I'm going to sell all my stock on him. He's overrated. Unbelievable. 18-year-old freshman, and we're giving up on him. Kyle said this a couple of weeks ago, maybe it was a couple of days ago. Other than the last 2 seasons of college football, last 3 maybe, where the transfer portals just erupted, the page checks, all the stuff, would there ever be a time where after one freshman season you go, nope, done, move on?
No.
Especially with a 5-star, number 1 overall recruit in the entire country? No, I think it's crazy talk.
The expectation comes with the money. And that's a result of this too, though. These players are held to a higher standard than it was 3 years ago because, okay, yeah, I get it, you're 18. Yeah, I get it, you're a freshman. Yeah, I get that you were playing in Ford Field in a high school championship less than a year ago. But you're getting $12 million. Mm-hmm. You gotta play for me. That's
fair.
That's the
also,
trade-off of this. They're going to be held to an even more, even to a higher expectation. Throw in the gambling. They are going to be held like pro athletes are. It's just what it is.
And I totally understand all that. But at the same time, the kid's 18, and there's almost no history of 18-year-old freshmen having incredible seasons. It's Trevor Lawrence, and that is the end of the list. That's it.
Johnny Manziel won a Heisman, no?
He was not a true freshman.
Okay.
He was I
thought he was.
Maybe he was. You might be right.
Okay.
But again, long time ago.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Was
Dude,
he a true freshman?
But I would say you're talking about lack of true freshmen or true freshmen having that success. That's fine.
No, Johnny was a redshirt freshman.
Okay. What he gets the maybe not pass on, but where you put in a little more understanding when evaluating Underwood was, again, his head coach didn't have his head in the game to make it like that's just what it was. A head coach that didn't set him up for success. Like, that's point blank right there, more so than, he was a freshman. Because you saw one game where he had a competent head coach, or at least a competent guy running the offense.
Well, even the games where
good.
Sharon was suspended, he looked better.
Yeah. So
granted, bad opponents.
Sure. But that's what's supposed to happen. Like, no offense to our guys out in Mount Pleasant, but that's how you're supposed to handle Central Michigan, right? Like, that's what you're supposed to do. I don't care if the quarterback's 18 or 22.
Yeah.
And they did.
And he looked like a grown man against that Central Michigan team.
Yeah, like that's what's supposed to happen, and you wanted that to translate into Big Ten play, but I think it was the coach holding him back more than him. And I'm not saying he was perfect or there wasn't underthrows or bad decisions, but those are going to come with any guy that you start as a freshman. Lawrence made those same mistakes, Manziel. The difference was those guys had successful head coaches and not a guy who, his head was elsewhere.
Lawrence also wasn't even the starter week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it took him a couple weeks to take that job away from the other. I don't even remember who the other person was, but Bryce was like anointed the guy right from the beginning. Obviously, a lot of that has to do with the money. Yeah. No one was ever going to take his job away. That's part of the reason Jaden Davis is transferring out too. But like, look, I don't know if there's a single person, whether it's a coach or a staff member. Well, there's one staff member or a player that you can say was set up to succeed under Sharon Moore, like to bring out the best in these players. His coach, like their coach, let them down. And I don't think that can be understated. Like, we're going to see everyone actually locked in this offseason and next season, and I think they're coming back with vengeance. Granted, a much more difficult schedule.
Oh, yeah.
You see it? Indiana,
Yeah.
Penn State, Iowa, and then Oregon and Ohio State on the road. It's tough, but I
Big
think
Ten.
it's also a huge upgrade at coach.
Yes.
Point blank period. 989-837-6125. Let's jump into a couple more things in the 11 o'clock hour. Want to revisit some texts that we got about the offensive coordinator hire for the Detroit Lions, some suggestions that you guys have brought up. And also, we're going to do something a little bit different at 11:15 because there are some rumors, some speculation. We're going to do a little pop culture then. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live right here on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Hear that? That's not Goff throwing a touchdown. That's your retirement crossing the goal line. I'm Doug Cellini, your financial quarterback here in Midland. My job is to make sure every part of your financial life works together. As a fiduciary, I'm not tied to one firm's playbook, so you get flexible fees, more choices, and advice built entirely around you. Call Doug Cellini at 989-214-4444, and let's make your financial future a win.
The doctors at Midland Eye Care want you to know a comprehensive eye exam is the only way to protect and detect vision-related disease. It goes beyond improved vision from glasses or contact lenses. Many common eye diseases such as glaucoma, diabetic eye disease, and age-related macular degeneration often have no warning signs. A dilated eye exam is the only way to detect these diseases in their early stages. This message brought to you by Midland Eye Care, your vision source on Eastman Road in Midland, on Cedar and Gladwin, and now on East Washington in Freeland.
Hey, I'm Ben Bosscher.
And I'm Kyle Sandel.
And the two of us are live every weekday on 100.9 The Mitt at 9 a.m. until noon, giving you opinions on the teams that you care about the most.
The Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, those teams.
And a whole lot more. Whether we're breaking down a game from the night before, debating the biggest news from the day, or doing a draft or spread picks, we're always having fun. I mean, come on, it's our job to talk about sports. How could we not be having fun?
So if the big games aren't enough for you, if you're a real diehard fan, this show is going to be perfect for you. You can count on us to be your morning sports outlet every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show with Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandel on 100.9 The Mitt.
Local sports don't stop when the game ends, and neither do we. 100.9 The Mitt is your digital home for the latest news across the state of Michigan. From high school to college and the pros, it's all on our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search 100.9 The Mitt and join the squad. Stay locked in on the latest stats and stories with exclusive video takes from local talent. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt.
Let's pick out a good wine. Let's discover a new taste from a new place. Let's meet the people who handpick the grapes in places dedicated to the craft, in a land that only knows one way to grow things, rich and full. Welcome to Michigan, where the 4 seasons and 4 Great Lakes smile on the winemaker, where the quality of the wine is exceeded only by the warmth of the greeting waiting for us. And with more than 90 wineries, covering more than 13,000 acres, the harvest has never been better. So let's wander through lush vineyards, discover hidden treasures in vast cellars, and renew ourselves in comfortable tasting rooms. Let's all raise a glass. Let's gather our closest friends and become even closer. Because taking time to toast the beauty and bounty of life is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning, Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Welcome back into the show. 11 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by Yiter Insurance Group. Let's get to some thoughts on what you guys had to say about, well, Johnny Morton's gone. Thank goodness. Although I kind of liked everything that he said, hot take. I liked everything that he said after he was, moved off of play calling duties. But yeah, he is just someone who had Had to be gone. He wasn't going to be the play caller this year. Dan Campbell has floated out the idea of just taking on the play calling duties with the idea of they'll never lose an offensive coordinator the way that they did with Ben Johnson. But I don't know, man. I think I've seen enough of Dan Campbell calling plays. I think he's capable. I think he can do it in a pinch. I think that's a good trait to have if you're a head coach. But I'd rather him just be the CEO head coach and not be stretched too thin, because the defense took a pretty massive hit after Dan Campbell took over as the play caller. And the third down stuff was just like disastrous. He was the last person to figure out that the offensive line wasn't the same personnel as it was last season, that they couldn't just play bully ball and will their way to being a successful run game. And I think, the third down stuff was just really bad.
Halfback draw.
Halfback draw.
Come on.
Or 3rd and 2. Let's run it up the middle. Guess what? You've tried that 4 times. You're going to get stuffed.
Come on.
And that's what would happen. I think he's a capable play caller. I'll put it this way. If the Lions had last year's offensive line and Dan Campbell was calling plays, let's say Ben Johnson leaves after 23, goes to Carolina like he was heavily rumored to, and Dan Campbell's the play caller in 24, I think it would have been fine. But he's not an A+ or A play caller by any means. So I think they're going to find a different guy. 989-837-6125. Got a number texted in that says, this one's from Mike. Says, the only reason McCarthy would even interview for an OC job is if he never wants to be a head coach again. I don't know. If he wants to just be a coach, I feel like he's willing to take any job. And is there a more intriguing coordinator job than the Lions offensive coordinator job that's open right now? I don't think so.
No. I don't know if I'd 100% push back on the fact that, like, all right, if he takes an OC, he wouldn't be a head coach. But again, I think he's going to get head coaching offers. That's why if the Lions,
mean right now, or if he were to have success as the Lions OC?
I think right now. I know he's only got the one, but I think the way this play, like the way it'll play out, if you're out on the Stefanski and Harbaugh sweepstakes, considering there's 7 teams, I think he's going to be a popular candidate. Like right now, I think
what's the McCarthy team? Because the
Falcons.
Ooh.
Right? Like I would if I'm a Falcons fan, okay.
Who's the quarterback? Because I would imagine he doesn't want to rebuild.
Okay.
Right? Would you agree with that? He doesn't want to take over a rebuilding team. If you're going to hire Mike McCarthy,
you
may
say
well be ready to compete.
There's not a head coach. The only one that's not a rebuild is the Ravens.
And I think the Falcons a little bit fit into that, depending on who their quarterback is. But they'd have to have a plan put in front of him of here's who our quarterback
Kirk
is.
Cousins.
No, that doesn't quite get me going if I'm Mike McCarthy.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the Ravens and Atlanta are like the win now, because why would he take the Browns head coaching job? Why would he take the Titans? That doesn't make any sense to me. I guess maybe there's some Giants stuff, but what you're putting at 90-95% that Harbaugh's going to end up as the Giants head coach, right?
We'll see. That's my hope.
It's going to happen.
That's my hope. I wouldn't put it at that, but that's my hope. I hope it's Harbaugh or Stefanski. So, by the way, a side note before we go more Lions OC, can we take a sec to thank Aaron Rodgers for putting 2 great head coaches on the market?
That would be Mike McCarthy.
No, I guess Mike McCarthy, but that would be Stefanski and Harbaugh.
Yeah, no, I guess I didn't even think about it.
Aaron Rodgers did that.
Stefanski, and
I guess Tyler Loop, but
I was going to say, I think
Rodgers.
Tyler Loop is more in charge of John Harbaugh being. You imagine Tyler Loop waking up and finding out that news?
Poor guy. And people are the worst. Like, his last post on social media was his engagement, and the comments are just terrible. Poor guy.
Poor guy. Make the kick.
No, I get it. It's just tough business. So
the tough thing is, I saw a video of Harbaugh walking right up to Loop. This is them in the tunnel, and had his arm around him, hitting his chest, basically telling him, that's not on you. I trust you. And for Loop to actually be totally the reason that Harbaugh ended up getting fired. We joked about it before that game. That was the whoever loses this game, their coach gets fired bowl.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be true.
My buddy sent a picture, and it was of that kick, but a
field goal,
screen still, and it's Mike Tomlin fired in between the goalpost, and it's Harbaugh fired on the other, on each side.
It's exactly what happened.
Correct.
And I think maybe of anybody, the Steelers are the most upset about this. It's oh man, that's the guy that always beat us, and we have to keep Mike Tomlin around.
Yep.
Oh, it's so funny. Go ahead.
No, but with this Lions OC job or just the return with McCarthy, I don't think him I just don't think him taking the OC means that he would never be a head coach again. I don't think you get Mike McCarthy for life if you hire him. And I think you disagree, and I know that Texter disagrees.
McCarthy's got to be, 63? 62? Mike McCarthy is
He's in his 60s.
62 years old.
Sure.
So again, I think that reconfirms, you're not hiring Mike McCarthy to kind of build something. You're hiring him to take over something.
Okay.
And if he were to take over as the Lions OC, it'd have to be a perfect job opportunity that would arise. And if the Ravens job gets filled by somebody else that's not McCarthy, and Atlanta goes a different direction, then I don't think there's a job that's got McCarthy's name written all over it. I think the stars would have to align. Is that at least fair?
Yes.
And then each year that goes by is just going to be more difficult. And if he ever wants to coach again or be a head coach or whatever, if he ever wants to be in the NFL coaching scene again, he's kind of got to come back now, right? You can't wait around 2 off seasons and then decide to come back. How long was Peyton out for? He might have been 2 years.
I think so. I have to look that up.
But I just think every year that goes by and every year you get a little bit older, it becomes a little less likely that you're back. But yeah, I guess Peyton maybe debunked that. I want to say he was out for 2 years.
Yeah,
he sat around and waited for the perfect opportunity.
He ended with the Saints in 21.
Took over as the Broncos in 23?
Yeah.
Or no, it was 20. Was it 23 or 24? He was out for 3 years.
He was hired January 31st, 2023.
So he was out 3 years or 2 years?
2.
Okay. So I guess, that would be a reason to say McCarthy's going to be out again. But
was he suspended during that year? I think he was a little bit, right?
Was he?
I'm trying to... No.
Because I remember the Saints still had his rights or something like that, so they had to trade. I don't really remember off the top of my head. I'd have to go deep dive it.
No, that was someone else who, his agent or something. But, yeah.
Ryan from Midland says Cliff Kingsbury's the guy. It's the obvious choice.
Cliff.
I've given my thoughts on Kingsbury. I think it'd be a clash in styles,
But so you just don't think he could run a capable offense with Jared Goff at the helm?
It's not that I don't think that he could. It's that there's no evidence that it exists.
Mm-hmm.
He's never done it. All the quarterbacks he's had, it's Baker, it's Johnny Manziel, it's Patrick Mahomes. Those are just the college guys. In the NFL, it's Kyler Murray, it's Jaden Daniels, all of which require offenses that not only it's a part of, but require your quarterback to be on the move, air raid attack, RPOs, read options. There's no evidence of him wanting to create an offense or even having the desire to do it for a quarterback that's more of a stationary pocket quarterback. That's all. It's just a completely different style. But I just don't know if it fits the personnel that the Lions have.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'd be pissed if Cliff Kingsbury came in, but he's not my top candidate for that reason. I'm just confused as to why I'm the only person in America that has linked the Lions and Mike McCarthy. I truly don't get it because I think it makes perfect sense, at least in my head.
Yeah.
Am I doing a good job explaining this?
I think you are. I think people have to remember, too, we're hiring an OC, not a head coach.
Exactly. And if you hire McCarthy, you're hiring someone who's called more plays by a long shot than anyone in the cycle right now. You're not going to find a more experienced play caller. You're not going to find a play caller with more success than Mike McCarthy. 4 different number 1 overall offenses. 2 with Green Bay, 2 with Dallas. What was it? 9 different top 5 finishes for scoring. That's crazy. Yeah. And that guy's just available to call plays. I'd be giving him a call. That's my top guy.
Yeah, your best selling point, and you laid it out in the 9 o'clock hour, so go back once we post the podcast or on the YouTube stream. But it's the fact that McCarthy has won and has had success with pocket quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And that's what you're getting with Jared Goff, where everyone else, it's a makeshift, or let's see what they can do. They're used to a more mobile option.
Aaron Rodgers, 2 MVPs with McCarthy. Dak Prescott consistently at the top of the passing stats with Mike McCarthy. I love the fit. Timing-based offense. That's what he's always dealt with. West Coast style, but modernized it in Dallas. That's kind of what the Lions operate on. It's a West Coast-ish, Shanahan-ish offense, but with some different power run wrinkles as well. I think it's perfect for Mike McCarthy. The personnel fits. This fact that you cannot afford to swing and miss again, that fits. Take a guy who's a proven winner, that fits. No one's asking him to come in and be the culture leader. Because I think he got made fun of a lot in Dallas for basically sitting at the podium and doing nothing because Jerry Jones wanted to be the one. He wanted to be the voice of the team.
Yeah.
Right? And McCarthy just kind of sat back and looked like a play caller, honestly, because Jerry Jones was the voice. You're not asking him to do any of that stuff. You're asking him to come into a very well-functioning organization with a leader at the head coach. And if he were to be hired, that's someone that Dan Campbell could just trust. You know, he doesn't have to be in the game. Like the way that Johnny Morton could not be trusted and Dan Campbell had to take over, and I'm sure even before that, really be involved in the game plan. Dan Campbell would have full trust in this guy and allow him to just be the CEO again. Maybe even help out Shep a little bit more because Shep clearly needs it more than McCarthy would.
Yes.
Way more experienced. I love the fit.
Well, we'll see. The only one is David Blow as of right now in terms of reporting.
David Blau.
David Blau. Sorry.
I don't think that's going to happen, but it's the only guy that we know for a fact is getting an interview. 989-837-6125. The 11 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by friends over at Yiter Insurance. Life happens fast, and at Yiter Insurance, they're here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. Locally owned and trusted in Midland for decades, they treat you like family, not just another policy number. From home and auto to business and life insurance, Yiter is the right coverage for every stage of life. Their team makes insurance simple with expert advice and real people that you can actually talk to. Yiter Insurance Group will be there when you need us since 1940.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Hi, this is Kurt Yiter from Yiter Insurance Group. When the calendar flips, we all have new goals, new adventures, and new things to protect. At Yiter Insurance Group, your hometown auto owners insurance agency, they're here to help you enter the new year fully covered. New car, new home, or simply wanting peace of mind for your family. Yiter's team offers one-on-one guidance to match you with the auto owner's coverage that fits your life. Call Yiter Insurance Group or visit our website for a free coverage review. Yiter Insurance Group, your friend in the insurance business.
It is the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9, The Mitt. This month's recipient is Anyela Eichelberger from Saginaw United. With a 3.99 GPA, Anyela is a two-sport athlete in volleyball and tennis. She serves as a youth ambassador, a stand-up student, and her art is award-winning.
You have art good enough. The teacher will enter your pieces into the show. I did not even know mine was entered into the show. And I actually won 2 awards for the 2 pieces that were entered. The medium I used was color pencil, and it was like a geometric sort of shape, and then the other one was like dot art.
Anyela has been dual enrolled at Delta College in her senior year. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete for our scholarship program, visit 1009themitt.com.
A beautiful yard increases both the value of your home and the quality of your life. Commercially, landscaping creates a positive impression of your professionalism and commitment to community, customers, and employees. Cervinsky Sod has been creating and maintaining outdoor spaces for 56 years. Whether your project is residential or commercial, the team at Cervinsky Sod Services will work with you to build and meet budgets and finish the job with top quality and in a timely manner. To get a quote, call 989-835-4810 or visit CervinskySodService.com.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think.
I think if the Pistons trade for Michael Porter Jr., they are winning the Eastern Conference. I think just because the Lions missed the playoffs this season doesn't mean there's any need for big-time changes when it comes to the regime of Brian Holmes, Dan Campbell, and Jared Goff for that matter. I think every time we see this Michigan basketball team take the floor, we are witnessing one piece of what could be a historic season. And I think if you agree or disagree with anything I just said, you should listen to The Ben Bosscher Show, weekdays from 9 to noon.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Michigan needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome back into the show, everybody. Ben Bosscher here with you as always. Let's do something a little different here. We don't usually do pop culture, what's going on in the world, what's not going on, but there's something that has taken the internet by storm here in the last 48, 72-ish hours. John, it's impossible to avoid. I don't know if you know this or not. Sometimes I feel like stuff flies by you without you seeing what's going on.
For me or for you?
For you, a little bit. I feel like I stay plugged in pretty good.
You think so, huh?
I think I envy you, though, being
Really?
able to avoid some of that stuff.
I'll say this. I think social media has just become so like, okay, you want to see what you want to see. Like my social media is nonstop Marty Supreme stuff, and I'm figuring you're getting maybe a couple here and there, but not to the extent I am.
Well, I haven't seen it yet, so my phone doesn't know to give it to me yet.
There you go. So like that's all I get pop culture wise. Where you're getting something else pop culture wise.
Well, it's impossible to avoid the fact that Stranger Things, the 5th season, came out first on Thanksgiving, then the second part of it on Christmas, then the third volume of it on New Year's Eve.
Sure.
In the last 48 hours, 72 hours-ish, there's been this theory that has erupted and taken over the internet that the finale of Stranger Things is actually not the finale. And there's another episode dropping tonight at 7 p.m. It's called Conformitygate. That is the theory that exists, that there's an additional episode to be released today. There's some good evidence to back it up. I don't want to jump into all the conspiracy stuff because, there's people, you can go watch a 2-minute YouTube short about it. That's not the content that we're necessarily creating. But I will say, if there is a hidden episode that comes out tonight and Netflix has basically pushed this propaganda out and paid some influencers to kind of get this theory out there to the point, this is no longer hey, this one guy came up with the theory and everyone really likes it. Everyone, and I mean everyone, is under the belief that there's an episode coming out tonight. And I wonder if this is just Netflix has kind of pushed this propaganda out and they're playing into it a little bit. And the Stranger Things accounts on social media are certainly playing into it too, because they're posting, audio where if you follow the audio and you go to the original account that posted it and you open it up, the only post that it has is Braille and it reads out, Vecna never dies. Just really funny stuff, really smart stuff that if the Duffer Brothers, the creators of the show, if this truly is their plan, I think this is going to go down as whether or not the episode's good or not, maybe the smartest, most brilliant screenwriting ending to a show that I can remember in a long, long time, maybe ever.
Well, and that's like modern media, how you're able to, play it a little differently because, you're Netflix and you could do what you want. You don't have to, you're not restricted by the rules of television. So if you want to not have an episode advertised and then, we're going to advertise it or, we're going to release it. I mean, what they've already done this season, I knew the show was popular, but telling people, your holidays, if you want to go on social media during those holidays, you better watch. You better be at New Year's Eve before you go out to your party. You better watch Stranger Things. It's something. I think a lot of this is being thought and pushed to the forefront because people aren't happy with how the show ended, right?
Sure. And
if everyone's happy with the show ending, no one would have pushed this. And I think Netflix and the creators are leaning into, they're unhappy with the ending. Let's give them hope.
Well, if there's
draw more attention.
If there's not an episode that drops tonight, and Netflix has basically been trolling for a couple of days in the social media accounts and the Stranger Things accounts,
but they've said it had to be tonight.
The theory all connects to tonight. There's so every reel that they post right now is 1 minute and 7 seconds, which goes to 1/7, January 7th. In the first season, Will goes missing for 6 days, and then he's found on the 7th day. There's a bunch of stuff that in the finale and in the season itself just doesn't add up. Stuff is switching colors. So the theory is we're actually just in one of Vecna's trances, us as an audience living through one of the characters in a trance, because Vecna, the bad person, puts characters in a trance, and they don't even realize that they're in it until they're dead. And the theory is we're in one of those trances right now through Mike's eyes. And every reel they post right now, minute and 7 seconds. If you there's a clock in the background on one of the reels too. It's a minute and 7 seconds. There's literally a scene in which one of the characters just looks directly into the camera and says, "I don't believe in coincidences." And they've been posting that a ton, and the caption in a lot of their posts recently has been, "I don't believe in coincidences." One thing is for sure is they're playing into the fans theorizing about this.
Of course.
And if they're doing that without an actual secret episode, they're evil.
They're evil if they don't they don't pull trigger on a show that's not advertised. That's crazy, dude.
The part that
they're not buying into your conspiracy theory.
But it's not just mine. Like, the whole world is basically expecting a second finale tonight. And if they are able to pull that off, I do think it goes down as one of the greatest endings to television history. It's genius. It really is genius.
It's good marketing more than it's a great ending to a TV show. It's just, okay, there hasn't been a show that gives you the finale, and then, oh, was that the finale? Was it not? I'll say this. Other shows, and we could talk about other endings, but everyone wants to be comfortable now, or, oh, it's the ending that I wanted. And it's impossible to kind of feed that into a mass audience, like where, okay, everything connects and everyone's happy, because it's impossible to make everyone happy. You learn that in life, right? So I like when a show takes a little risk and does the ending that it does, and not everyone's happy with it. There's probably people out there that I'm not connected within the Stranger Things community.
But it's not that we're unhappy with the ending. It's
but
just
you
that
are,
it was,
because
it
you
was
want
boring.
another episode.
It was weird. Some stuff just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
I think the best ending in television for me of shows that I've seen has got to be Breaking Bad. That's a show that they go 5 seasons and basically say, this show's in its peak. We know how awesome it is.
Yeah.
We're not going to try to extend this thing and drag it out and make bad television at the end. Because that's where I think shows get themselves into trouble. Like Lost, one of my favorite shows of all time. Last season made no sense. It sucked. The finale was terrible.
But you say that, like,
Walking Dead, perfect example. Just like 6 seasons, way too long. And then the ending's just like bad. Shows drag out and then they have bad. Game of Thrones, like, no one liked that ending either.
Like,
I think Breaking Bad for me is the best one.
You mentioned Breaking Bad, and I watched. That's the last show I finished.
Oh, you
so-
finally finished it.
All right, that's not funny, but it is.
It is though, because I met you
3
3 years ago, and you were watching Breaking Bad, and this is the first I've known that you finished. I might have spoiled it on accident for you.
What?
I'm glad you finished it.
No, you didn't spoil anything. I just, in terms of like that being a great ending, not that it was a predictable ending. It's just everything was tied up at the end.
Yes.
With the exception of one of the characters, the sidekick character, I don't want to spoil anything, driving off.
It's
right?
been over a
but
decade.
Then they made
you can say anything.
But then they made a movie and whatever, and I haven't seen the movie. But I get all that. I also like when shows don't give you the ending you wanted. Kevin LeDuc brings up The Sopranos. I'm not going to spoil it because I watched that show and I think everyone should. And obviously, I know, Ben, you haven't.
I've not seen Sopranos.
That ending did not please its audience by any stretch.
What about How I Met Your Mother ending?
That's what I was going to bring up, too. How I Met Your Mother pissed off its fan base. And it's like, okay, because they had an ending written out basically at the end of season 1 and then had to commit to it because they filmed bits that were 9 years and didn't let the progression of the characters take place. And it's like, listen, you know, that's food for thought. Not every show ends the way you want. And why I like The Sopranos, and I will say it's the greatest ending without spoiling anything, the whole tenor...
It's been like 20 years.
I'm not going to do it, though, because I want you to watch it. The whole tenor of it is that just because media ends doesn't mean that the world ends. Like, the Sopranos ending, in my opinion, justifies that world keeps going. Just because we're not able to actually view it or access it because there's no more episodes, that world is still going. Because that's life. Something happens, an event, and you feel like it's the end of the world. It's not. It might be tough to move on and carry that trauma or what have you, but it keeps going on. And that's what I love most about that ending. Again, I'm not going to spoil it. Like, if you're a Stranger Things fan,
and
you don't like the ending, then, hey, that's how they decided to end it, the creators. And if it gives you something to lean on, like where you're really upset about it, hey, the world's still going on. You just don't have access to it. So you could conjure up in your mind what actually happens, you know? Well, 11 becomes 12, you know?
No, the thing with the Stranger Things thing is the ending is, like, it's just way too, like, oh, that was, everybody's just happily ever after. Like, that's just it for everybody. And there was, like, no risk or bad things to happen to anyone. And even the characters that they do kind of kill off in a way. It's like, no, actually, they could still be alive, and everyone's really happy in our mind, and everyone just like ends up really happy and content at the end. It's like, what? Like, this is a little bit too.
It was too vanilla.
Yeah, in a way, which is why everyone kind of thinks like conformity gate's a real thing. There's no way that it was that simplistic of an ending. There has to be another episode. I think this would be the most genius ending in the history of television. And I haven't even seen it. And if they don't release an episode tonight, Netflix should, I don't even know. Someone needs to have a strict talking to with their headquarters for what they're doing.
Ooh. Give us more Stranger Things. Could they have a spinoff show or what?
They're going to have like a cartoon spinoff show or something like that. It's nothing I'm
Is my boy
super
Dustin going to
interested
be in it or no?
As a cartoon character, I believe, yes.
I'm showing him on screen as a Ranger fan. That's the only thing I know about.
I didn't know you did that.
That's what I just did. He's the only guy I know from the show, so that's why I like him.
989-837-6125. I believe there's another episode.
Big Ranger fan.
All right, it's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. We'll hit the news when we come back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
From the depths of the ocean to the farthest reaches of space, Corning's technologies push the boundaries of what's possible. We're the world's leading innovator in glass and ceramic science, and we're innovating right here in Michigan. Corning's solar wafer site in Hemlock is helping guarantee American energy security. We're investing in our local Michigan communities. That's why Corning is a proud sponsor of the Great Lakes Loons. Learn more about Corning today at corning.com.
Since 2007, the Michigan Baseball Foundation has invested over $1.8 million into our communities, supporting over 350 projects across 14 Michigan counties. From restoring Alma Little League fields to creating nature-based classrooms at the Chippewa Nature Center and enhancing accessibility at the middle of the Mitt Miracle Field, MBF is making a real difference. Every ticket to a Great Lakes Loons game helps fund these initiatives. Join us in building a stronger, more vibrant community. Learn more at MichiganBaseballFoundation.org.
Need a unique, versatile space for your next event? From the moment you arrive at Dow Diamond, it's easy to see how it's more than just a baseball stadium. With private areas for groups as small as 30 to large-scale events for 300 plus, even full-service catering, Dow Diamond has you covered. From trade shows, corporate meetings and seminars to holiday parties, high school proms, and weddings, book Dow Diamond for your next event. Just call 989-837-2255 or visit dowdiamondevents.com.
You want sports takes? You want local voices that own the mic? Yeah. We've got them on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. It kicks off at 6 a.m. with Anthony Bellino on Spin on Sports.
Rise and shine.
From 9 to noon, don't miss Michigan's newest sports show, The Ben Bosscher Show.
Hey, remember that.
At noon, you get America's smartest sports takes, The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
I want Shador to play.
And at 3, the one and only Bill Simonson and The Huge Show. This is where real fans stay locked in. 100.9 The Mitt.
Hey, I'm Ben Bosscher.
And I'm Kyle Sandel.
And the two of us are live every weekday on 100.9 The Mitt at 9 a.m. until noon, giving you opinions on the teams that you care about the most.
The Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, those teams.
And a whole lot more. Whether we're breaking down a game from the night before, debating the biggest news from the day, or doing a draft or spread picks, we're always having fun. I mean, come on, it's our job to talk about sports. How could we not be having fun?
So if the big games aren't enough for you, if you're a real diehard fan, this show is going to be perfect for you. You can count on us to be your morning sports outlet every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show with Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandel on 100.9 The Mitt.
They tell us we're more connected these days. We have cell phones, email, text messaging, yet we've never felt more disconnected from the people we care about the most. We need a place that's all about bringing us together. Say hello to the Great Lakes Bay region, where towns like Saginaw, Midland, Bay City, Birch Run, Chesaning, and Frankenmuth help us leave behind the overscheduled world we live in and visit a place we haven't seen in a while. One where the people make us feel right at home. And we remember just how bright our kids' eyes get, peeking through a riverboat railing, just to catch a glimpse of the wildlife. So let's go fishing, bird watching. Let's blow the suds off a local tap, take a tall ship dinner cruise at sunset, or stop by a festival just because the name made us smile. Right here in the Great Lakes Bay region, where reconnecting with what really matters is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome back into the show. Now that we've gotten the conspiracy theories out of the way, let's jump back into the news. John, tell us what's going on.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
Hello.
Sure, that's what I'll do.
Okay.
You know, I didn't give you any NBA in the first Morning Catch in the 9 o'clock hour.
Yeah, come on.
So you know what? To be a nice guy, that's what I'll do to start with previewing action tonight. Your Pistons are in action. Everyone's Pistons are in action. 7 o'clock tip tonight at the Little Caesars Arena. They're taking on the Chicago Bulls, a team they've lost to this year, 27-9. The Pistons, Bulls 17-19. Detroit's minus 11.5. Coming off that win against the Knicks, man, I don't know what you could say about this team besides, hey, they're taking the East. I was not that that was the make or break or believe game for me. People know from New York, big Knicks fan, was on a flight, got on that flight, like, all right, Knicks playing good, got off that flight and couldn't believe the final score. In terms of injury stuff, nothing to report with Detroit for tonight unless you've seen something, Ben. But going against Chicago, looking at their schedule for January, when's the next game they lose? Boston? Monday, January 19th?
I don't think they ever lose again, ever.
All right,
I'm just kidding. No, it's tough to predict wins and losses like that because right now I do feel like they should be favored over everybody in the East, unless because the Boston game's at home.
It is.
So,
their next, I mean, they played the Knicks. Their
tough.
next 5 are at home.
Yeah, they're on a 6-game home stand right now. Who their next loss is, I don't know. That's
right.
tough, but I do think that this team, like, I feel very confident about them right now being the 1 seed at the end of the day. This feels like a team that, if they're not the 1 seed, it's basically a disappointment because it's going to be important to get that 1 seed because I think there's 3 teams in the East that can win the East. If you're the 1 seed, the Knicks and the Celtics got to play each other in the playoffs before one of them runs into you. So
correct.
You got to keep winning. Every single game's important. Some other people telling you that none of these games are important. Yes, they are. Get the 1 seed.
Who's telling you games aren't important?
TBD.
To be determined. Okay.
Other people.
Don't want to name names. All right, more NBA from last night. The Lakers beat the Pelicans 111-103. That's not all that important, but what was funny last night was LeBron talking to the media after the fact. Of course, tonight the Lakers' second game of a back-to-back. They're in action against San Antonio, and it was, okay, LeBron, are you playing? And there was a funny clip in terms of on social media yesterday that went around with LeBron. He's like, listen, I know I'm him, but to get me to play every day, and especially second and back-to-back, that's going to be, you said it, to be determined, TBD, for the rest of his career.
He's earned it.
I'm playing audio.
Oh.
This is TBD for San Antonio. I got to ask. You're 41 years old.
No, you're really nailing this.
You can't hear that.
No,
can
I
you?
can hear it, but the music's playing on top
Yeah,
of it.
I didn't account for the music.
Yeah, no, that's
the
good
problem.
stuff.
No, you know what? I'll tell you what he said then because I'm not going to play the audio. But in terms of what he said, listen, I'm 41. I got the most minutes in NBA history. Every back-to-back for the rest of the season is going to be to be determined. And then this, a little LeBron lore, because Dave McMenamin, the only reason I was going to play that clip, and what's funny about it is the fact that he's like, oh, I didn't know that. Wow. He said his birthday and then that he was born at 4:39 p.m. And that he slapped the doctor's ass.
Wow. That's good stuff.
So 4:39, are you going to try and have your kid, down the line, of course, born at 4:39 p.m.?
LeBron Jr.? No. LeBronette? No.
Oh, man. But, yeah, there's your clip.
Honey,
is LeBron going to play tonight?
We need 2 more days. 2 more minutes.
Like, are you going to tell the wife, like, no, not yet. No. It's 4:37.
I probably won't do that.
Oh.
I don't know if he plays tonight. Probably not, I would imagine, after comments like that.
Yeah. But, by the way, too, just another thing, because I saw it just last night on Twitter, Donovan Mitchell just didn't play because of rest. I thought you weren't allowed to do that anymore.
And the Cavs could very well get fined for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh, Cavs Pacers, and it was like, oh, he's not playing because of rest. I'm like, I thought they made a rule against that.
I think they did.
Nice. All right. In terms of other news, talked on it during the 9 o'clock hour, but if you missed it in terms of the Lions right now, and we've talked about the OC and who we want it to be, both of us, but NFL Network's Ian Rappaport says that David Blau's the only one I keep messing his name. David Blau is the only one that they've looked into, at least according to his reporting. Remember him, 5 games in 2019. He was the assistant quarterback coach with the Commanders. And why I bring this up again, you reported, or at least told me off the air with Jordan Schultz and the Commanders, that front office is a little bit all over the place.
Yeah, they're trying to jump in and tell the coaches who should and who shouldn't be playing. Just classic Washington Commander stuff. You know how you can remember it's David Blau and not David Blow?
How?
Because David Blau rhymes with wow, and wow, he is really bad at playing quarterback. Bet you'll never forget it now.
Thanks, man. Was that the 2019 mantra?
David Blau. Wow, this guy sucks. He's so bad. But apparently, allegedly, a pretty good offensive coordinator candidate.
There you go.
Not here. Somewhere else you can go.
Oh, okay. But maybe he gets the Commander's job if people keep dropping over in Washington. Other Lions news, Seth McLaughlin, a futures contract. He's the center in the Rose Bowl for Alabama that had trouble against the Michigan Wolverines, led Nick Saban into retirement, but then came back and won the Rimington Trophy at Ohio State for being great. Bengals practice squad guy and maybe the future center of the Lions.
You forgot torn Achilles, part of the reason he was not drafted.
Correct.
What a career what a 3-year stretch this guy's had. Starting center on Alabama, biggest reason they lose the bowl game, transfers to Ohio State because he's basically got pitchforks and fire stakes at his house, goes to Ohio State, wins best center of the year in college football, tears his Achilles, doesn't get drafted, is on the Bengals practice squad all year, and now is poached by the Detroit Lions, given a futures contract. I don't think he's going to be the center of the future, but it is an intriguing prospect person to have on the roster, for sure.
Speaking of Alabama, news coming through that we'll see if it moves your needle. Ty Simpson, their quarterback, declares for the 2026 NFL Draft.
I mean, if anyone declares for the draft, doesn't that basically say they think they can go in the first round these days?
Yeah.
Like, why would you leave college football? Why would you leave being the quarterback at Bama if you don't think you're a first-round pick? All right.
Do you think he's a first-round pick?
I don't know. I never thought he was a first-round pick while I was watching him. I'll say that.
Okay.
But, people start talking themselves into things after the season ends. The further away from the season we get, the crazier the opinions get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Like, remember weeks leading up to the draft, it was like, yeah, Caleb Williams actually sucks and his personality stinks and he's never going to be a leader. It's like, what? Where is this all coming from? It just happens. The further away we get from the season, the more you can convince yourself of fake truths.
Fake truths.
And it's already happening with Ty Simpson.
College basketball last night, Michigan did beat Penn State. It was a close one, though, 74-72. We talked on it, recapping 8 threes for both squads. Michigan defensive stop late. They led 80% of the game. Ben, was there anything that concerned you last night watching the Wolverines?
The pressure that Penn State was giving Michigan basically from the time they crossed half court definitely bothered Elliot Cadeau. 3 turnovers. I didn't love that. I think that's obviously something they'll clean up. And then for anyone that's concerned with the zone, Penn State threw a zone at them just to change things up, and it worked. I don't think there's any reason to be concerned about that either. Michigan's one of the better, not one of the best, but one of the better three-point shooting teams in the Big Ten. Had a fine, like a little bit of an off night yesterday. No reason to be long-term concerned there. The big concern to me would be, did everyone just discover that you can hack Amara? Because he's shooting 40% from the free throw line this year. And if that's going to be the case, he just can't be out there down the stretch of some of these games on offense. Otherwise, people are just going to hack him. So my biggest concern is the hack era stuff.
Okay.
He's got to be able to hit his free throws. Just weird because he has nice touch around the rim.
Some guys struggle.
Yeah.
Especially, college players, if we're just going to, look at it. Free throws are...
moment gets too big for these
kids.
It is.
It's a pressure-filled moment. I sucked at everything basketball-wise, but free throws were definitely the most heart-racing. Michigan next in action. Oh, yeah. When you're in the game, but when it's a standstill, everyone's looking at you,
One time, intramural basketball, Central Michigan.
Uh-oh.
2 seconds left, call timeout, drawing up an inbounds play out of bounds, grab the ball, pump fake, get a guy in the air, boom, free throw line, 1 second left. Hit both my shots, no big deal.
Wow.
No big deal.
And who was in attendance at that? Like the lunch ladies
Nobody.
at CMU? Oh,
yeah,
nobody.
Literally nobody. Other teams waiting to play. Maybe some girlfriends on the other team.
Oh. And then what? What'd you do?
I stole their girl.
You pointed. You pointed at him like, yeah, I'm the man.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Really? That's
no,
good.
I didn't do any of those things.
It's a good way to end the Mitt Morning Catch.
All right, 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mitt. As always, brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Hey, your dream lawn this spring? Yeah, Cervinsky sod can quite literally roll that out. Top quality sod that turns patchy yards into backyard showstoppers. And they've been doing it for over 50 years, which means they are, in fact, experts. They're like the George Blaha of their field. Whether you're fixing a rough spot or redoing your entire yard, Cervinsky delivers lush, green perfection. Fast, friendly, and farm fresh because your grass should be greener right now, or at least when the spring rolls around. Don't settle for a bland yard. Increase the value of your home and get the lawn your neighbors will envy. That is Cervinsky sod, and this is the Ben Bosscher Show. You can sit and watch live on YouTube every day from 9 to noon. We'll be right back with our two traditions to close out every show.
Built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Do we have any spray paint? Why? I need lots of paint. I'm going to paint the house.
I don't think so.
But it looks bad.
Well, you can't spray paint the house.
And then let's call Bresky Siding and Building Repair. They can do it.
Is your siding looking faded, worn out, or just in need of an update? Call me, Derek Bresky, at Bresky Siding and Building Repair today for all your siding, roofing, and gutter needs.
Need a unique, versatile space for your next event? From the moment you arrive at Dow Diamond, it's easy to see how it's more than just a baseball stadium. With private areas for groups as small as 30 to large-scale events for 300 plus, even full-service catering, Dow Diamond has you covered. From trade shows, corporate meetings and seminars to holiday parties, high school proms, and weddings, book Dow Diamond for your next event. Just call 989-837-2255 or visit dowdiamondevents.com.
Now is the perfect time to lock in your seats for the 2026 season with the Great Lakes Loons. With Loons Ticket Package, you choose the games that fit your schedule. Score exclusive benefits, guarantee the same seats for each game, and have the flexibility to exchange your games whenever you want. Let us book your ticket package for the 2026 season. Call the ticket office today at 989-837-BALL or visit loons.com.
We got a game, boys! This week on Sunday Night Football.
Sunday night is the 2-seed versus 7-seed matchup in the AFC. The New England Patriots hosting the Los Angeles Chargers. Both teams are looking for their first postseason win since 2019. Coverage at 7:30 Sunday night, presented by Ace Hardware, downtown Midland.
Don't miss a moment right here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think.
I think if the Pistons trade for Michael Porter Jr., they are winning the Eastern Conference. I think just because the Lions missed the playoffs this season doesn't mean there's any need for big-time changes when it comes to the regime of Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, and Jared Goff for that matter. I think every time we see this Michigan basketball team take the floor, we are witnessing one piece of what could be a historic season. And I think if you agree or disagree with anything I just said, you should listen to The Ben Bosscher Show, weekdays from 9 to noon.
Local sports don't stop when the game ends, and neither do we. 100.9 The Mitt is your digital home for the latest news across the state of Michigan. From high school to college and the pros, it's all on our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search 100.9 The Mitt and join the squad. Stay locked in on the latest stats and stories with exclusive video takes from local talent. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the MHSAA, are the 292,000 high school sports students in Michigan. And so we stand. We stand for the runners, soccer, and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, administrators, and officials. We stand for the swimmers, football players, and wrestlers. We stand for the golfers, softball, and volleyball players. We stand as the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and all who participate in them and make them possible. Because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show. We've got two traditions to close this thing out. The first of those is our Lock of the Day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
All right. Yesterday we once again did not hit our Lock of the Day, and I'm currently fighting off a sneeze as we speak.
You all right?
I think it's gone.
Nice. I thought you had to clear your throat. That was a sneeze
No,
you fought
it
off.
was coming
Professionals, listen, folks, it is hard to fight off a sneeze live. That was pretty good from Benny Bosch.
Yeah, that was tough. What was I saying? Something about the Lock
Something
of the Day
about
yesterday.
sneezing.
Yeah, the Lock of the Day did not hit. We took the under in the Mavericks versus Kings game, or we took the over. Not even close. Not even close. So we're 0-3 to start the new year. Not great.
Not surprising. Well,
But today's a lock.
really?
Today is a lock for Lock of the Day, like a true lock. I'm going to the Pistons game. Well, I'm not going, but
You wish you were.
my pick is going to the Pistons game. No Duran again, so they're going to have to spread that offense out a little bit more. And I was really deep diving, like, I need a winner today. I really do. And I found a prop that I love. I was looking at, Isaiah Stewart rebounds, but the Bulls lead the league in defensive rebounds per game. I was looking at, okay, can Stu just hit me 2 threes, but then he hasn't had a game where he's hit multiple threes in a while. Do I do blocks? You really have to do 3 blocks to have any sort of value because he gets 2 blocks almost every night. What are we going to do? I was looking at Asar points, and then I came across Asar Thompson points, rebounds, and assists all together. The over-under right now is 19.5, and I thought that seems suspiciously low. So I looked up Asar Thompson's history versus the Bulls. John, he has gone over this 19 PRA in all 7 matchups of his career versus the Bulls. He's consistently scored. He's consistently grabbed a ton of rebounds against this team. He's consistently moved the ball around. There's not anybody on this Bulls team that's really meant to, that has the lateral quickness to stay in front of him that also has any sort of size. So he's able to just get 2 feet into the paint. And from that point, he's either going to score or he's going to get an assist. And no one can really jump with him either. Like, a lot of their rebounds, as much as their rebound numbers are good, they come from the center in Vucevic. Asar's going to be able to come in and clean a lot of stuff up. 7 times he's played the Bulls in his career. 7 times he's gone well over 19.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. I was shocked when I saw that was the that was the line for his points, rebounds, assists. I personally bet on it immediately. I want that to be my ultimate lock of the day. You like it? Taylor fade.
I think I'm with you here. I like watching Asar, and you did the research of, all right, you could do it. So I'll believe. This would be your first win of 2026.
Thanks for reminding everyone of that. No, I appreciate that.
But you know what? I think I'm the difference. I think that I'm the good luck charm.
I think this is the start of me winning 3 days in a row and getting to 500.
Wow.
And then we're just like that, clean slate.
Whew. Just like that, you're all forgiven.
Mm-hmm. Asar Thompson, over 19.5 points plus rebounds and assists in tonight's Pistons game. If you want to parlay that with the Pistons money line, I tell you that's exactly what I did. All right, that is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
I'll tell you what, after this show ends, I'll be headed to the Greater Midland Community Center, your hub for health, wellness, and fun right here in the heart of Midland. From fitness classes to open gym, swimming, youth sports, family activities, there's something for everyone. Me personally might show up, break out the Jaws.
The what?
The Ja Morants.
Oh.
Put up some shots, make 53s, work on my free throws, make sure I can still dunk, and then regret it because my knee will hurt. Then head upstairs, go to the free weight section, do a little back and buys before wrap that up and go to the sauna, sit in there for 15 minutes. That would be my day at the community center. But there's something for everybody. Affordable memberships, expert staff, and a welcoming space for all ages and abilities. If you're hosting an event, ask about the rental spaces, full-service event support, stay active, stay connected, all under one roof at the Greater Midland Community Center. Learn more or sign up at greatermidland.org. Our next tradition to close out every single show is guessing what the one and only Colin Cowherd is going to open with. The Herd takes over our airwaves at noon, Fox Sports Radio. What do we think he opens up with on this fabulous Wednesday?
Whew. So much.
So much.
I get first pick here?
You're the guest. You get first pick. Kyle, whenever there's a pinch hitter, Kyle and I, like, there's no pinch hitting. It's just really Kyle versus us. So this is like an exhibition round.
Man, you said yesterday what? Not Caleb.
I said Josh Allen versus he has to win it, and that was a bullseye. He opened right up with he cannot lose. This has to be the year Josh Allen gets to the Super Bowl, and I went yes, because this is exactly what I predicted. So you can go first.
I guess because he was off the air by the time it happened, Baltimore John Harbaugh situation. Is that too generic? Is that too broad?
No, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I think he's going to talk about. I mean, he might take a different angle, and I guess you can go that way. Like, oh, this team should get John Harbaugh. That team should get John Harbaugh. I think he's just going to talk about maybe Baltimore being more dysfunctional than we let on, something along those lines. But talking about John Harbaugh getting fired.
Yeah, you're probably going to win this one. I'd be shocked if it was anything else. That's the story right now. Although, why is Zion the number one thing trending on Twitter?
Uh-oh. Did he eat some food?
I don't know.
Oh. I would say something else, but this is a family show.
I'm seeing him in.
Nope! I see something that was,
Tell me. I'm having trouble deciphering why he's the number one thing trending on Twitter. What's going on?
Do you want me to say it? It's involving OnlyFans.
Yeah, go ahead. As long as you're not like breaking FCC violations, tell me what's going on in a somewhat PG-13 method.
OnlyFans model who goes by DopeChick69 on Twitter,
right?
Shared a 37-second video with Zion and apparently accusing him of fathering her daughter.
Okay. Remember when he was the number one overall pick?
And a Zelle payment of $2,000, echoing her baby daddy claim. Demanding a DNA test after 3 years of silence.
Okay. That guy was supposed to be the face of the league at one point. That's crazy to think about now. I don't think Colin Cowherd's going to lead with that.
That would be something.
No, you're right. It's probably this John Harbaugh thing. I'm having a hard time of even thinking of anything else.
I can't believe you brought up Zion. Just always trending on Twitter.
Well, that's usually what I go. Like, when you take what I'm thinking of or Kyle takes what I'm thinking of, I go to Twitter and see what the number one thing trending is to make sure I'm not missing anything. And I was like, why is Zion trending? And, well, it's for reasons that aren't really that surprising.
Dude, I use Zelle too, man, but you can't have your name on it.
Is that like a Venmo?
Yeah, like through the banking.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Come on,
It's not going to be like Trey Young. Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably just John Harbaugh. I guess I'll just go a different route and say New York Giants, but that's more so Harbaugh stuff.
He could.
Can I do like John Harbaugh to the Ravens and you do like Ravens dysfunction? Because that's
you're saying John Harbaugh to the Ravens,
or John Harbaugh to the Giants. Can I make it more Giants centric and you make it a little bit more
100%.
Ravens are a mess?
If he goes Giants, then yes. I'm saying it's just talking about Baltimore situation.
Okay, that's really the only other guess I have.
Yeah,
that's
fair.
just going to be the lead today, I would imagine.
Because if he leads with how it affects the Giants more than Baltimore, I'd be surprised. I'd also be like, hey, love that, Colin, because I'm a Giant fan. But yeah. You sure he's not going to lead with the Zion stuff?
I'm almost positive he's not going to lead with the Zion stuff because Zion is not even, a top
he played last
player
night
in the NBA?
Oh, is he not?
No. I mean, when he's
Were you the guy who said MVP? Sprinkle a little?
I bet him 3 times to win MVP, and all 3 times I've been proven to be an idiot. I was a big Zion guy. No longer. I've replaced him with Wemby. I like him.
Oh, that's a good guy to replace him with.
All right. That's pretty much going to do it for us today. We are going to be live again tomorrow, 9 a.m. If you are not subscribed yet on our YouTube, please go ahead and do that because you'll get notified when we go live at about 8:55 every single day. And if you subscribe, you're never going to miss out on an episode. hopefully we have a lot to discuss tomorrow. I'm sure we will. There's always some good stuff that ends up happening throughout the day.
We'll have spread picks. I'll be back on the show.
I think we should just wait to do that until Friday.
No.
There's no Thursday games. Why would we do it on Thursday?
Oh, I guess you're right.
I think we're doing that on Friday this
All
week.
right.
Sorry, I didn't clarify that.
No, it's okay.
But
now I know.
Nonetheless, we are live on YouTube, Facebook throughout the course of the show from 9 to noon. You guys can follow us on Instagram, Facebook. You're a little active on there on Twitter during the high school games,
Yeah,
too.
we post stuff on Twitter.
TikTok. Just search 100.9 The Mitt or The Ben Bosscher Show, and you'll be able to find exclusive video content, short form, medium form sort of things. If you want to listen back to the show, head to our YouTube. You guys can watch it back there or search The Ben Bosscher Show on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. You guys can go back and look at it on that end as well. Appreciate everybody for listening today. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m., like I said. And hopefully we get another Stranger Things episode tonight. I think that'd be awesome. All right, see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
The Ben Bosscher